The strongest copy of Dragon Ball. Chapter 101. Son, did that guy break through his limits again? Or is he playing tricks? Piccolo was also shocked, but based on what he knew about Son Goku, that guy shouldn't be a random person. In such a short period of time, has he improved his strength again? Father, there seems to be an even more powerful transformation. Son Gohan said to Killin excitedly. Hey, it's another step away from the bonus. Looking at the excited Son Gohan, Killin responded weakly with drooping face. But when these people participated in the competition, he already knew that he had said goodbye to the bonus. Okay, let me see your Super Saiyan beyond Super Saiyan. Son Goku. On the ring, Lin Yan was not in a hurry to attack Son Goku, but clasped his hands in front of him, and said as if he was watching a show. If Son Goku can really become Super Saiyan 2 as he said, then it should be interesting to fight. Son Goku looked at Lin Yan and was secretly shocked. He didn't expect that this guy could only act so calm after knowing that he could transform into a Super Saiyan. But if he succeeds in transforming, he will definitely be surprised, because that power is so strong that he can't believe it. Then, Son Goku clenched his fists tightly, put his elbows on his waist, and opened a posture. A deep roar came from his throat. Ha, ha ha. Accompanied by bursts of low growls, one after another of terrifying auras swept out in all directions like sharp air blades. And Son Goku's body seemed to be surrounded by a crazy vortex, wrapping his body together. Rumble. The next moment, the entire ground began to tremble slightly. Deloy. The terrifying air vortex directly raised Son Goku Gold's hair, and suddenly, a blue lightning appeared around Son Goku's body. Nani. The whole earth is trembling. Is he doing magic? No. Impossible. I seem to see a flash of lightning appearing on that guy's body just now. I must be dazzled. An old passerby with white beard and hair took off his reading glasses and rubbed his eyes vigorously. He must be dazzled. Otherwise, how could there be lightning around a person's body? Grandpa, you are not dazzled, because I also saw lightning appearing around that guy's body just now. A young passerby opened his mouth in surprise, and said to the old man beside him. Although, I don't know what happened to that guy, but I feel that we will see an unprecedented battle next. Passerby C spoke excitedly. How could the aura of that guy Kakarot be raised to such a level? No, impossible. Vegeta stared fixedly at Son Goku in the ring, and he could clearly feel that Kakarot's aura soared very frighteningly at this moment. It is much stronger than Super Saiyan at full power. That nasty fool actually turned into a Super Saiyan transformation beyond Super Saiyan. But, this idiot didn't have his full strength when he was practicing against me. Vegeta gritted his teeth and looked at Son Goku, clenched his fists and said angrily. In the first 2 days, he was also sparring with Kakarot. That guy has always been the same as himself, using the full power transformation of Super Saiyan. It turns out that I have been perfunctory myself. And I thought that my strength had already surpassed Kakarot. Father's breath, so strong. Son Goku's face was full of excitement. He could feel that the aura was like a vast sea, endless and overwhelmingly strong. What a monster. Piccolo's eyes twitched and he muttered. I remembered 4 years ago, when the two of them fought against Raditz together. His combat power was only, and I was 2 points stronger than him. I didn't expect that 4 years later, I was cultivating desperately every day, and I was completely left behind by him. It's really an uncomfortable feeling. Above the ring, the strands of blue lightning around Son Goku became more and more dense, and Son Goku's aura also reached a terrifying level at this moment. This is all I have, Lin Yan. Russell. After the transformation was completed, Son Goku slowly raised his head, looked at Lin Yan and said. At this time, Son Goku doesn't seem to have changed much, but if you look closely, you can still find a big difference from Super Saiyan Son Gohan. First of all, there was the blue lightning around him, and then Gold's arrogance became even more turbulent. Gold's hair stood up completely, leaving only a bunch of bangs hanging between his eyebrows. The eyes are narrower and longer, looking a bit evil. These characteristics are completely in line with the characteristics of Super Saiyan 2. This guy, Son Goku, has really become Super Saiyan 2. The breath is really not comparable to Super Saiyan. To be honest, I am a little excited. Looking at Son Goku, the second Super Saiyan in front of him, Lin Yan said lightly. Although the current Son Goku is still impossible to be his opponent, but the feeling of excitement makes him a little hard to restrain. That's Saiyan's warlike blood at work. What, aren't you going to become Super Saiyan? Son Goku looked at Lin Yan and asked. He is quite confident in his own strength now. If Lin Yan is still so conceited, he will suffer a loss. Just like you, Zhao's first try your Super Saiyan 2 form, is it worth it for me to become a Super Saiyan? Lin Yan said lightly. Then, the result will surprise you. The corner of Son Goku's mouth raised, and when the voice fell, his body flashed out instantly. The speed was astonishingly fast, and it appeared in front of Lin Yan almost instantly. What a speed! Even Lin Yan opened his mouth in surprise. Super Saiyan 2, it is really not comparable to Super Saiyan. But without any hesitation, he withdrew his right foot and punched Son Goku directly. The next moment, the deep voice exploded in the arena with never-ending shock waves. The ground under Lin Yan's feet was directly shaken out of a pit, and his feet were directly inserted into the ground. It can be seen the power of Super Saiyan 2 Son Goku's punch. Hey, this power is so strong that I am a little surprised. Seeing that Lin Yan was knocked back a few steps by his punch, Son Goku smiled and said excitedly. Because after being able to transform into this form, he has never fought in actual combat. Now it seems that the power of Super Saiyan 2, which surpasses Super Saiyan, is indeed powerful, and it makes people like it. Nani, are they two people? Just one attack, and the ring was shaken out of a big hole. What a terrifying confrontation. I have never seen such a powerful battle. It seems that this time I came to watch the world's #1 martial arts competition live. Is it really a big profit? Shocked and excited voices can be heard in the auditorium endlessly. Everyone who knew the strength of Lin Yan and Son Goku was alright, but the 4 players who didn't know had already started to tremble after seeing the big hole in the ring. Let them fight those monsters, are you sure you are not joking? Is it too late to quit the game now? They don't want to let themselves explain here because of a game. Even the well-informed gold medal commentator has a dull face at this moment. It's too scary. The confrontation between the two just now is really unbelievable. Even though he was so far away, he could still clearly feel that powerful pressure. And in the ring, Lin Yan fell arms, and the punch just now made him feel sore. Son Goku's strength and cultivation talent are indeed not to be underestimated. That being the case, just turn into Super Saiyan and end this fight. Of course, Son Goku in Super Saiyan 2 can be defeated even without being a Super Saiyan himself. Immediately, Lin Yan clenched his fists tightly. Wisps of bright green arrogance emanated from his body, almost instantly, forming a raging green flame. Wrapped around Lin Yan's body, Black's hair stands tall and turns golden yellow. Are you finally going to play seriously? The corner of Son Goku's mouth raised slightly, showing an excited look. At the moment when Lin Yan turned into Super Saiyan, he could feel the substantive atmosphere and great pressure. Just becoming a Super Saiyan, but it feels like it is stronger than my own Super Saiyan 2. Because after Son Goku became Super Saiyan, after Lin Yan became Super Saiyan, the surprise of the audience seemed not as strong as before. Instead, he held his breath and looked forward to the next exciting game. Aren't you very confident in your Super Saiyan 2 strength? Come on Son Goku, let you feel the real power of Super Saiyan. After turning into Super Saiyan, Lin Yan raised his lips slightly and said to Son Goku. Ah, that's exactly what I thought too. Son Goku curled his lips and showed an excited smile. Then the body burst out directly, and the moment the toes touched the ground suddenly cracked. Almost instantly, the body turned into a golden light, and it aired towards Lin Yan. The next moment, a crisp sound sounded, and Son Goku's body stopped directly in midair. The fist hit Lin Yan's palm heavily, but this time, it didn't have any effect. Lin Yan was like a stone statue, standing there as solid as a rock, without moving a muscle. A look of calm and breezy face. Nani. The excitement on Son Goku's face was replaced by deep horror. He punched almost with all his strength, but was caught so easily by that guy. It is also Super Saiyan, is the gap so huge? And the current self is not only Super Saiyan, but also the second Super Saiyan beyond Super Saiyan. Even in front of Lin Yan, is there still no way to make him go all out? Unexpectedly, was followed, is that a monster? Vegeta raised his eyelids violently, and his tone was full of disbelief. I didn't see Kakarot's speed clearly just now, and the strength far exceeded my imagination. Even such an attack was easily received without moving at all. I naively thought that after my strength increased a beg, I would be able to challenge Lin Yan. Now it seems that it is an extremely stupid idea. That guy's strength is no longer at the same level as theirs, even that guy Kakarot far surpasses himself. Vegeta clenched his fist tightly, his fingertips dug into his palm, and blood flowed continuously down his fist. Unwillingness, a deep unwillingness filled his heart. It's really perverted. Piccolo and the others swallowed their saliva and spoke dryly. It seems that today's so-called one Budokai in the world will become Saiyan's show. Son Goku, is this your power over Super Saiyan? Seems to disappoint me a bit. Lin Yan glanced at Son Goku playfully, and said lightly. After becoming Super Saiyan, the power of Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku can be said to be vulnerable in front of him. Ah, your strength is indeed so strong that I am shocked. Son Goku replied flatly, but withdrew his fist. The body slowly fell to the ground, thinking about how he should defeat Lin Yan in the face of absolute power. Since you don't want to attack anymore, then replace me. The corner of Lin Yan's mouth raised slightly, revealing a wicked smile. Almost as soon as the sound fell, the body instantly turned into a bright green beam, which shot directly at Son Goku. Aha! Son Goku shook his arms, and all his breath poured out instantly. I didn't think of other countermeasures, and it seems that I can only head to head. Slowly raising his head, looking at the looting Lin Yan, Son Goku directly punched him out. The two fists came into contact in an instant. It's just that the expected fierce collision did not appear, and no shock wave was produced. The moment Lin Yan's body touched Son Goku's fist, it disappeared. Next, before Son Goku could make another move, he felt an attack on his back, and the moment a huge force came, Son Goku's body directly brushed the ground and flew out. Wow, you are too reckless. When he stood up again, Son Goku rubbed his hot cheeks and complained while watching Lin Yan. Originally thought that this guy would attack from the front, but unexpectedly attacked him from behind. Your defense is too weak, not all opponents will fight you head on. But seeing that you don't seem too convinced, I'll show you my strength. Lin Yan smiled faintly, and his body flashed out again. Hey, come on. Son Goku raised his mouth and jumped out to meet Lin Yan. The next moment, a terrifying shock wave swept directly from the arena, causing the entire arena to collapse somewhat. Almost at the moment when fists collided, a figure flew upside down, and shot into the wall below the auditorium. That dull sound shocked the hearts of everyone present. Everyone's body trembled violently with that low, muffled groan. Okay, what a terrifying strength, quantity. It felt like the whole auditorium was shaking a bit, man. What is this, power? Everyone's expressions were dumbfounded, and their mouths were dull. This kind of powerful force was completely beyond their imagination. It is too powerful, and Son Goku's body was directly inlaid on the wall of the auditorium, a human-shaped groove appeared, and thumb-like cracks appeared around it. Then, that guy is too strong. Vegeta's pupils shrunk to the size of mung beans, muttering to himself. Just now, Kakarot's aura was already so powerful that it was so terrifying, it surpassed him by so much. And when it first became the so-called Super Saiyan that surpassed Super Saiyan, it obviously had some upper hand. Why was he punched out of the ring in an instant? It's too strong, it's not on the same level at all. Piccolo's expression was similar to that of Bei Jilin. Not only Piccolo, but other Z warriors are all looking like hell, I can't believe it's real. Woo, Goku. Chi-Chi looked dull and disappointed. Originally, she thought that even if Goku couldn't win the championship, the second place must be Goku's. Unexpectedly, in the second round of the battle, Goku was eliminated. Naturally, he was a little disappointed when the bonus was wasted. Looking at Chi-Chi with a disappointed face, Bulma didn't speak anymore. Although she had a quarrel with Chi-Chi just now, she didn't care about the 100 million bonus. In comparison, Chi-Chi's family needs that bonus more. Out. Son Goku is out, and the winner of the first round of the second round is Lin Yan. The gold medal commentator wiped the sweat from his forehead, and was the first to react, shouting excitedly into the microphone. So intense. It's so beautiful, this is what the number one Budokai in the world should look like. Then he turned his eyes to the ring, looked at Lin Yan with a plain face, and thought in his heart, even Son Goku was eliminated so quickly, this Lin Yan player is really too good. After the narrator's voice fell, the originally silent auditorium was instantly awakened, and there was an overwhelming sound and cheers. Although the match just now didn't last very long, I have to admit that the battle just now was really exciting and intense. For nearly 10 years, they have never seen such a wonderful comparison. Amidst the loud calls, Son Goku finally walked out of the groove. At this time, Son Goku had returned to normal, but there was no disappointment on his face. Instead, he looked excited. He didn't expect that after surpassing Super Saiyan, there would still be such a terrifying gap with Lin Yan. That guy is really a passionate opponent. After defeating Son Goku, Lin Yan walked off the ring with a calm face. After all, this ending was within his expectations, and there was nothing to be happy about. You guys are too strong. After Lin Yan walked off the ring, Son Goku leaned over and said to Lin Yan excitedly. Not at all affected by the outcome of the game. I told you a long time ago, if you don't meet me, how many more rounds can you hold on? Lin Yan glanced at Son Goku, smiled and said. This guy Son Goku's open-minded mentality really makes him a bit incomprehensible. To be so excited after losing the game, I couldn't do it myself. But having said that, if Son Goku and others only focus on winning and losing and fame and fortune, then that Satan guy cannot become the savior of the earth. Goku, are you okay? When the two walked to the auditorium, Chi-Chi looked at Son Goku worriedly and asked. Just now, Son Goku was literally punched into the solid wall. Ah, I'm fine Chi-Chi, but I was eliminated and won't be able to win the prize money. Son Goku said to Chi-Chi with a relaxed face. But I can still see a trace of apology. After all, I promised Chi-Chi, at worst I will win the third place in the world's #1 martial arts association. It's okay, if you lose this time, it will be fine when you win next time, as long as you work hard, we still hope to live a good life. Chi-Chi also surprisingly didn't blame Son Goku, but spoke comfortingly. Ah, but there is also Gohan. Gohan will definitely be in the top 3. Son Goku looked at Son Gohan and said. Although Gohan's strength is quite different from Broly Vegeta's, he found that Gohan's cultivation talent is very strong. And as long as Gohan is born, he will show a terrifying fighting talent, and his talent will completely surpass himself. This, he discovered when he was practicing with Gohan in the Spiritual Time House 3 years ago. Maybe Gohan can take advantage of this world's #1 martial arts association to improve his strength to a more powerful level. Then, Lin Yan and Son Goku returned to their respective seats, waiting for the start of the second battle. Lin Yan and Son Goku brought us a wonderful match just now, so next, we will start the second match. Son Gohan will play against number 17 player. The gold medal commentator said excitedly. After finishing speaking, it seemed that something was wrong, so he looked at the manuscript in his hand again. Son Gohan, Son Goku, they. Then when the commentator looked at Son Gohan, there was a look of excitement in his eyes. I see, he is Son Goku's son. I have invited Son Gohan and player number 17 to come on stage. Presumably these two players will also bring us more exciting games. After the commentator's voice fell, Son Gohan and number 17 jumped and landed on the ring. There were deafening cheers in the auditorium. The match just now was so exciting, presumably this one will definitely not let them down. Come on, Gohan. Chi-Chi picked up the lost mood just now, and cheered for Son Gohan loudly again. Number 17, if you lose to that brat, I will laugh at you. Number 18, who was sitting next to Lin Yan, also spoke to number 17 with a loud voice. On the ring, number 17 looked at Son Gohan with a smile on his face, and said lightly, admit defeat, kid, you won't be my opponent. I won't admit defeat. Son Gohan struggled, squeezed his fist, and said in a timid tone. After all, more than half a month ago, there was a big gap between myself and number 17. HMPH, then prepare to be beaten. Looking at Son Gohan, who was a bit timid but determined, number 17 said with a soft smile on his face. This brat, more than half a month ago, didn't even have the guts to attack him. I didn't expect to be more courageous today. But to fight this kind of brat, there is really no passion at all. Son Gohan did not speak, but made a fighting posture, because he knew that there was indeed a big gap between himself and number 17. Come on Gohan, unleash the strength in your body, number 17 is not your opponent. Son Goku in the auditorium cheered on Son Gohan in the ring. In fact, he is not all to motivate Son Gohan, but he really wants to see how powerful the current Gohan is when he unleashes that power. Oh, looks like Son Goku has confidence in your 067. Number 17 still had a contemptuous smile on his face. I will never disappoint Dad. Son Gohan frowned and said solemnly. Now that Dad has already lost, it is impossible for him to lose this game no matter what. Be sure to stick to it till the end for Dad. The scene of deep love between father and son really touched me a little bit. Then, you will be like your father, let's go down. At the same time as the words number 17 fell coldly, his body flew towards Son Gohan in an instant. In his opinion, Son Gohan is such a brat, he can get him out in a matter of minutes. Fu. The moment he appeared in front of Son Gohan, number 17 punched Son Gohan directly. Son Gohan saw No 17's powerful fist, and his toes touched the ground. He quickly took a step back and dodged number 7's fist. It's a little surprising that I was dodged. Number 17 withdrew his fist, slowly raised his head to look at Son Gohan, and said to himself. Then next, I'll see how you hide. After the sound fell, the palm of the right hand was aimed at Son Gohan, and an energy ball appeared in the palm of No. 17. Without any hesitation, almost at the moment of condensing and forming, they blasted at Son Gohan. And Son Gohan seems to be a little afraid of number 17, he doesn't dare to attack at all, he can only dodge hastily. Boom! The energy ball directly blasted a big gap on the edge of the ring. Son Gohan looked at the gap on the edge of the ring, and frowned even deeper. Just as Son Gohan was looking at the explosion just now, the energy ball in the palm of number 17 condensed again and blasted past. Boom! Energy balls exploded on the ring one after another. Son Gohan was like a slippery loach, constantly scrambling to avoid violent explosions. TCH, it seems that I still have some ability. Number 17 looked at Son Gohan in surprise, he had escaped so many energy attacks by himself. But after a moment of shock, both hands were raised at the same time. Now, do you have a place to hide? Number 17 smiled jokingly, and the palms of both palms condensed energy balls at the same time. In the next moment, the palms were like two machine guns, and the energy balls were constantly blasted out from the palms, with a very sharp sharpness. And the energy of each energy ball has no tendency to weaken at all. Son Gohan was barely able to dodge at the beginning, but later on, his physical fitness had already suffered a huge problem, and water kept oozing from his forehead. The speed of dodging is not as good as before. That brat seems to have lost very quickly, but it's really useless for number 17 to spend so much time with that brat. Mimo number 18 looked at Son Gohan who was dodging around on the ring, and said calmly. The tone is full of confidence, you must know that they are artificial humans with infinite energy, if Son Gohan keeps hiding like this, it is impossible to win against No. 17. It's just uselessly consuming your physical energy. It's hard to say now. Lin Yan looked at the ring and shook his head thoughtfully. Now it seems that No 17's strength and energy are indeed far stronger than Son Gohan. But, Son Gohan's combat potential is quite astonishing, especially in the case of rage, he can exert super strength. From the battle between Raditz and Cell, we can see his potential. So it's too early to draw conclusions now. Number 18 looked at Lin Yan in astonishment, but Lin Yan didn't expect Lin Yan to say that he wasn't sure. One must know that number 17 now has the absolute upper hand. There is no reason to lose at all. Woo, Gohan, come on. Chi-Chi held Son Goku's hand tightly and murmured nervously. Just after Chi-Chi's words were spoken, Son Gohan in the ring suddenly couldn't dodge, and was directly hit by No 17's energy ball. The energy ball landed heavily on Son Gohan and exploded. The small body fell heavily on the ground, and the clothes all over his body were instantly scorched and tattered. With a painful look on his face. The outcome has been decided, admit defeat, kid, or you will die. Still holding an energy ball in the palm of his hand, Number 17 walked towards Son Gohan step by step, and spoke in a calm tone. I won't admit defeat. I must get the bonus. Son Gohan, who was covered in scars all over his body, stood up while supporting his heavy body with both hands. The timidity in the eyes disappeared little by little, replaced by a tough look. Oh, you can still stand up. Your courage is commendable, but I don't want to play with you anymore. Number 17 smiled coldly, looking at Son Gohan, who was staggering and unable to stand still. The energy ball in his palm suddenly disappeared. Then he swept his leg towards Son Gohan. Gohan! Gohan! My Gohan! Almost at the same moment, Piccolo, Krillin, Chi-Chi and others all cried out in surprise. No 17's leg, Gohan can't avoid it no matter what. Although Son Goku didn't make a sound, his brows were furrowed. Obviously also very nervous. Just when everyone's surprised voice fell, the next second, a crisp voice rang out from the ring. In the silent arena, very clear. Nani. Number 17 looked horrified and spoke first. Because the scene in front of me is completely different from what I imagined. That kid should have been kicked off the ring by himself. But at this moment, it's not like that at all. I saw Son Gohan raised his arm to block No 17's leg, his body was shaking non-stop. I said, I won't lose. A deep voice came from Son Gohan's mouth, and he slowly raised his head to look at number 17. At this moment, Son Gohan's eyes were pale, his pupils disappeared completely, and his face showed a ferocious face like a beast. What monster? Number 17 frowned, because he could feel that the power of this brat had soared so much in an instant, and he put down his attack. I must defeat you. A deep voice, like the roar of a wild beast, came out of Son Gohan's mouth. When Son Gohan looked at number 17, his face became like an angry beast, Black's hair began to stand tall, and a terrifying breath erupted from Son Gohan's body instantly. Shocked No 17's body back by 3 or 4 meters. What's going on? This powerful aura came from Gohan's body. Piccolo, Krillin and others looked surprised. Gohan's strength should not be so strong. He actually blocked No 17's attack just now. How did that kid do it? Well done, Gohan. The worried look on Son Goku's face gradually disappeared, and he whispered with relief. As long as Gohan forces out the power hidden in his body, number 17 will never be Gohan's opponent. Even Vegeta, who has become the full power of Super Saiyan, may not necessarily be able to catch up with Gohan's strength. Cut, that brat, how is it possible? Vegeta's face was very ugly at this time, and he gritted his teeth tightly. The strength of number 17 is really not strong for the current self, but it is only when he becomes the full power of Super Saiyan that he can easily defeat No. 17. And now, that kid Son Gohan actually relied on his normal strength to forcibly resist the attack of Robot No. 17. This is too unacceptable, Son Gohan. How did he block 17's attack? At this time, number 18 also had doubts on his face, and spoke in a small voice. Could it be that when the 17th attacked Son Gohan just now, they deliberately released water? No, number 17 is not that kind of person, and the look of surprise can be seen from the expression of number 17, which means that even number 17 feels surprised. Then, that little guy actually blocked it. It's so unbelievable, it looks like it's only 10 years old, how can it have such a powerful force? Asterisk asterisk asterisk. In the auditorium, they were once again shocked by Son Gohan's actions just now. How could they not be surprised that a child showed such terrifying strength in a competition with adults? Oh, Son Gohan's expression was very ferocious, and terrifying breaths erupted from his body continuously. It's like trying to explode Son Gohan's body. Immediately afterwards, Son Gohan seemed unable to bear that feeling, and a roar came out of his throat. In the next second, the aura erupting from Son Gohan's body turned golden yellow. At that moment, Son Gohan's head joint turned golden yellow. Those empty eyes seemed to have regained consciousness little by little, and pale green pupils appeared in both eyes. What is this force? After regaining consciousness, Son Gohan looked at his hands in disbelief, wrapped in a layer of gold arrogance. Rustle. The arrogance around him surged crazily, like boiling magma. Super Saiyan. I turned into Super Saiyan 2. Feeling the incomparable power in his body, Son Gohan murmured in surprise. Powerful strength poured out continuously from every part of the body, a sense of comfort that I have never had before. Are you kidding? Just becoming a Super Saiyan just now, the aura of that brat has become so powerful. Vegeta gritted his teeth tightly. The moment Son Gohan turned into Super Saiyan, he felt that Son Gohan's aura was not like the way he just turned into Super Saiyan. That aura can be compared with Super Saiyan's full power self. This is too unacceptable. It's so strong. I didn't expect that after Gohan became Super Saiyan, his strength completely surpassed that of Goku and Vegeta when they became Super Saiyan. Piccolo looked incredible, because at this time, Son Gohan's aura was so strong that he couldn't lose to Vegeta at all. Maybe it surpassed him. Piccolo suddenly remembered that when Raditz arrived on Earth, Son Gohan saw Son Goku who was in danger. When he was angry, his combat power soared to more than 700, and Raditz, whose combat power reached 1500, was injured. At that time, he knew that Son Gohan's body contained a terrifying power zone. So after becoming Super Saiyan at this moment, it seems that it is not surprising that the strength surpasses Son Goku and Vegeta who also became Super Saiyan. It seems that number 17 is a little dangerous. Looking at Son Gohan on the ring, feeling Son Gohan's sun breath, Lin Yan said lightly. Son Gohan's aura, after turning into Super Saiyan, can directly compete with Super Saiyan's full power Vegeta, which is a bit unexpected even for him. After all, in Dragon Ball, Son Gohan's talent is indeed very good, but after becoming Super Saiyan, there is no phenomenon of directly leapfrogging his strength. It's just a little bit of practice. It's a good thing now, as soon as she transforms, she directly possesses the full power of Super Saiyan. Then the current number 17 is simply impossible to be Son Gohan's opponent. In the ring, Son Gohan, who became Super Saiyan, obviously saw Shendu changed. It doesn't have the timid feeling before, but gives a feeling of indifference. Looking at number 17 with cold eyes, he said, "You are no longer my opponent." The tone of his speech was also very arrogant, and he felt completely different from his timid appearance before. "Tch, you proud brat, he just changed his body, and he became so arrogant, just a Super Saiyan, but he's still not my opponent." Number 17 looked at the indifferent Son Gohan, and said disdainfully. "Really, you can try." Son Gohan turned his head to the side, looked at number 17, and said to number 17 in a cold tone. "Don't get carried away, let's see how I can take care of you. Being looked down upon by a kid less than 10 years old, how can I tolerate this kind of thing happening?" After thinking about it, number 17 flashed his body directly and turned towards Son Gohan. He had to defeat that brat with his own hands, and let him know that Super Saiyan was totally vulnerable in front of him. Seeing number 17 looting, Son Gohan narrowed his eyes slightly, and his body also burst out to meet No. 17. The moment the two fists collided, the terrifying shock wave directly shook the ground into a huge groove, and the bodies of the two of them flew upside down in an instant. Son Gohan took 5 or 6 steps back, his feet planted directly into the ring floor. On the other hand, number 17 retreated more than a dozen steps, leaving a line of clear footprints on the ground. This brat, what a powerful force. Number 17 squeezed his fist, feeling numb for a while. Although he has infinite energy, his body is a normal human being after all, and he can feel pain. I didn't expect this kid to become so powerful after becoming a Super Saiyan. You must know that Super Saiyan Vegeta was easily defeated by him at the beginning. It seems that I have no way to defeat that brat in terms of strength, so I can only use my own energy to consume him. With this in mind, number 17 no longer hesitated, and directly condensed an energy ball from both palms, blasting towards Son Gohan. Boom boom boom. This time, Son Gohan didn't dodge, but let all the energy balls hit him, and then exploded. It seems that every energy ball hit Son Gohan's body very precisely. The entire arena was instantly filled with smoke and dust. After a few seconds, the gunpowder smoke and dust all dissipated, and everyone saw that golden arrogance. Rustle. There is no sign of abating at all. And under Son Gohan's feet, a big pit has appeared, and his body is lurking in midair. I said, "You are no match for me now." Son Gohan looked at number 17 coldly, and spoke confidently. This level of energy attack does not cause any harm to oneself at all, so there is no need to dodge it. After Gohan became Super Saiyan, why is it like a completely different person? Piccolo and Krillin in the auditorium frowned and said with puzzled faces. At this time, Gohan did not have that timid and immature feeling at all, but was very conceited and indifferent. After becoming Super Saiyan, Gohan didn't control his emotions well. He was influenced by Saiyan's blood, which changed his temperament. After he gradually became familiar with the transformation of Super Saiyan, he was able to control himself. I'm in a bad mood. Hearing the puzzled voices of several people in Piccolo, Son Goku explained. After all, Gohan is still young, and it is not surprising that he could not maintain his personality after he almost lost consciousness just now and turned into Super Saiyan. At this time, all the audience in the auditorium opened their mouths in shock, unable to speak a word. I didn't expect that in this year's number 1 martial arts association in the world, a brat would possess such palpitating strength. It's really terrifying. Don't think that after resisting several attacks, you can be so defiant. Seeing Son Gohan's indifferent gaze, number 17 gritted his teeth, and a cold light flashed in his slender eyes. If he is defeated by such a brat, then he will lose all the face of being the strongest artificial human, and this kind of thing is absolutely not allowed to happen. Looking at number 17 whose gaze turned cold, Son Gohan did not continue to argue with number 17, and then walked towards number 17 step by step. This time I have to deal with you thoroughly. Number 17 looked at Son Gohan who was walking towards him calmly, gritted his teeth, burst out of his body, and directly attacked Son Gohan. The speed was so fast that it appeared in front of Son Gohan almost in the blink of an eye, and punched Son Gohan in the cheek. Looking at the fist full of power, Son Gohan didn't mean to dodge at all, but raised his right hand. Then, No 17's fist hit Son Gohan's palm heavily, and the vast force directly caused Son Gohan's feet to sink into the ground, leaving 2 deep marks on the ground. Son Gohan narrowed his eyes, suddenly raised his head to look at number 17, and then kicked his right foot directly to No 17's mouth like lightning. Number 17 didn't even have time to dodge. With a bang, Son Gohan's toe kicked No 17's mouth, and his body flew up uncontrollably. Son Gohan's body disappeared on the ground at all, and when he appeared, he had already reached the top of No 17's head, clasped his hands, and smashed wolfishly on the back of No 17's head. The terrifying force instantly made No 17's body hit the ring like a falling meteorite. Boom! The body of number 17 hit the edge of the ring heavily, directly smashing a huge gap in the edge of the ring. Magic flash! A deep voice came out of his throat. Son Gohan obviously didn't intend to let go of such a good opportunity to get 17 out of the game. With his hands overlapping and placed in front of his eyebrows, the terrifying ki blast blasted towards number 17 in an instant. Number 17 looked at Ki Blast, who was coming from above, and shook his arms, and quickly built a light green protective shield around his body. Rumble! The moment the terrifying Ki Blast fell, the position where number 17 was standing was directly blown out of a big hole, and a huge gap appeared on the edge of the ring. Like a flatbread with a bite out of it. And No 17's body gradually appeared in everyone's sight, although he didn't suffer too much damage because he opened the protective cover in time. But the terrifying impact directly caused No 17's body to fall outside the ring. The audience once again fell into a deathly silence. It's really unbelievable. At the beginning, that little guy was at a complete disadvantage, but he didn't expect to win this match with an absolute advantage. It's really exciting. Out of bounds, contestant number 17 out of bounds, the second round of the number 1 Budokai in the world, and the winner is Son Gohan. Quote. After the narrator lost his mind for a moment, he spoke excitedly. Then he turned his gaze to Son Gohan, thinking secretly in his heart, as expected of Son Goku's son, he is already so strong at such a young age. It's really not reconciled to be defeated by a brat. Number 17 put away his protective cover, and said lightly. However, he also understands that Son Gohan's strength has indeed surpassed his own, and this cannot be changed. Forget it, lose if you lose. Anyway, I'm just here to play kings, I don't care about bonuses or anything. After hearing the commentator's voice, Son Gohan on the ring suddenly changed back to his normal state, and directly knelt down on the ring, panting heavily, obviously just now became Super Saiyan for the first time. For him there is no small burden. My Gohan won, Goku, Gohan won. Chi-Chi shook Son Goku's hand excitedly, and spoke excitedly. Ah, good Gohan. Son Goku also smiled gratifiedly. With Gohan's talent, maybe he will be able to surpass himself soon. Then, thunderous applause broke out again in the auditorium. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. It's just that Mr. Satan, who is in the VIP room, trembled even more violently at this time. It's monsters. It's all a bunch of monsters. Unexpectedly, among the contestants in this competition, even a little kid has such strength. Isn't it dangerous for me? After Son Gohan defeated number 17, the game continued in full swing. In the third match, Klin faced a guy named Pasa, although Klin was not outstanding in front of other Z warriors. But in front of this kind of common people, he can be regarded as a master of masters, so after taking the stage, he can easily win. The fourth game is number 18 versus Yamcha. Yamcha is quite clear about no 18's strength. That is an existence that even Vegeta, who has become a Super Saiyan, can't win. I don't need to think about it to know that it is not his opponent. So I directly chose to admit defeat. In this way, although it is very embarrassing, it will not be thrown out of the ring after being beaten, which would be even more embarrassing. The fifth game was Vegeta vs. Tien Shinhan. After the match lasted only a dozen rounds, Tien Shinhan fell down. After all, there is still a big gap between his strength and Super Saiyan. The sixth game was a fight between Piccolo and a guy named Luba. Piccolo won easily at the beginning of the game. In the seventh round, android number 16 also played against a common player. But this time, android number 16 chose to abstain voluntarily. The reason why he participated in this world's number 1 martial arts tournament was mainly because he wanted to fight Son Goku, and then took the opportunity to kill him. Now that Son Goku has been eliminated, this kind of competition has no interest or meaning for him. So decisively chose to abstain. This made Papala, the opponent of Artificial Man number 16, ecstatic. The last match was Broly's match, and the opponent was also a common player, but that player seemed to sense the violent aura on Broly, and directly chose to surrender with a frightened face. After the second round, the third round will be drawn. The third round of lottery draw also adopted the previous lottery method, number 1 and no. 2, number 3 and number 4, and so on. And this time, number 1 is Broly, and number 2 is Piccolo. It's really a bit unlucky to have drawn that monster. Piccolo frowned and looked at Broly in front of him. The strength of the two of them was not at the same level at all. Even if you start a battle, you don't have the slightest chance of winning. I abstain. Abba. After gritting his teeth, Piccolo spoke to the commentator. This is a meaningless game. He likes to challenge opponents who are stronger than himself, but Broly, that guy is so strong that he can beat himself almost in an instant. So there is no need to go on stage at all. Piccolo abstained. This time the winner was Broly's choice. The narrator's enthusiasm seemed to have weakened, and his voice was no longer as excited as before. What the hell happened to today's game? Game 1 and Game 2 really delivered a really good game. But the next match, either it will be a one-sided battle, or just choose to abstain from the competition, there is no appreciation at all. The audience in the auditorium also began to sigh, although they knew that those guys were very strong, but if the competition continued like this, there would be nothing to watch at all. Then, in the second match of the third round, Son Gohan will play against Papala. I hope the two players can bring us a wonderful match. At this moment, the commentator can only pin his hopes on the next two players. After all, if the game has been so boring, the audience will not be able to stand it. Son Gohan had almost rested at this time, and stepped onto the ring step by step. The contestant named Papara, tall and burly, looks like a hill, looking at Son Gohan with a ferocious expression. Hey, little ghost, admit defeat quickly. Otherwise, I will beat your mother so hard that your mother doesn't even know you. Papara smiled ferociously, and said to Son Gohan. Please advise. Son Gohan hugged Papara respectfully. His attitude was completely different from that of Super Saiyan just now. Get down for me, brat. Papara's huge fist punched Son Gohan directly. I saw Son Gohan not dodging, looking at the falling fist with a smile on his face, and then pointed out with one finger. Then, what does the little guy want to do? He won't use one finger to block Papara's attack. Contestant Papala is a famous strongman. In the last World's No. 1 martial arts competition, he narrowly lost to Mr. Satan and won the runner-up, but that battle was quite fierce. Mr. Satan and Papara, they all went all out at that time. After seeing Son Gohan's bold action, various voices of surprise came from the auditorium. And at this time, Papara's fist has already fallen. What? It's just that the moment it touched Son Gohan's fingertips, his fist couldn't drop half a point. This uncle, can you be more serious? Son Gohan looked at Papara speechlessly, and said. This kind of power is simply incomparable with no. 17. Brat, how dare you look down on me? When Son Gohan said this, Papala became furious instantly, swung another fist again, and smashed at Son Gohan. But it's all blocked. Your strength is too weak. A bored indifference appeared on Son Gohan's face, and then he punched Papara's stomach directly. Papara's eyeballs popped instantly, and he hugged his stomach with both hands, with a painful look on his face. Then he fell directly on the ring. 10 seconds later, Papara could no longer stand up, so he had to be carried down. It was almost a one-sided game, and there wasn't much to watch. Papala was eliminated. This time, Son Gohan won. Next, in the third game, Lin Yan played against Vegeta. After the commentator's voice fell, everyone turned their attention to Lin Yan and Vegeta. Vegeta also met Lin Yan as he wished, so next. Keelan looked in the direction of number 18, and couldn't help shivering. I was lucky enough to be promoted just now. It seems that this time, I was so lucky that I bought it. As for Lin Yan and Vegeta, they landed on the ring with a single leap. Lin Yan looked relaxed, but Vegeta frowned. Aha! Then without any hesitation, Vegeta directly turned into Super Saiyan at full power. Because otherwise, maybe I was defeated by that guy without even having a chance to transform. After all, Kakarot, who became Super Saiyan 2, did not persist in Lin Yan's hands for too long. Not ready to throw in the towel, Vegeta. Lin Yan looked at the serious Vegeta, and said jokingly. After witnessing the battle between himself and Son Goku, Vegeta actually wants to fight against himself. It seems that it is really courageous. TCH, I am a dignified Vegeta, how could I admit defeat to you? Stop joking. Vegeta snorted coldly. In his dictionary, the word, defeat without a fight, does not exist. Even knowing that Lin Yan's strength is much stronger than his own, he still has to fight with all his strength, because he is the prince of a proud fighting nation. Very good and bold. Lin Yan shrugged, looked at Vegeta, and said with a slight smile, then let's start. Let me see your strength. Looking at Lin Yan's calm and breezy appearance, in Vegeta's eyes, it naturally became a kind of humiliation to him. Then the body flashed out, directly stepped out of a pit on the ground, and the body swept towards Lin Yan. But that speed, compared with Son Goku, is obviously much worse. Vegeta's fists roared, and dense attacks attacked Lin Yan. They were indeed easily dodged by Lin Yan. After all, Lin Yan can easily dodge Son Goku's attack in Super Saiyan 2, but Vegeta's attack does not have the power and speed of Son Goku. Vegeta, Western Oil. And just when Vegeta launched a terrifying attack on Lin Yan, on the auditorium not far away, an aged woman with black curly hair cheered Vegeta on the ring. And in her arms, there is still a little boy under 1 year old. Is that Vegeta's wife on Earth? Vegeta's eyes seemed to be pretty good. Hearing that delicate voice, Lin Yan followed the voice and saw the woman. The appearance, figure and temperament are also outstanding. Many things. Hearing the sound of cheering behind him, Vegeta suddenly blushed and muttered something in a low voice. Then they launched a stormy attack on Lin Yan again. Enough is enough, Vegeta, I'm ready to fight back. Let Lin Yan speak coldly to Vegeta after dodging all of Vegeta's attacks. Then his right hand came out like lightning, blocking Vegeta's fist. Almost at the same moment, he grabbed Vegeta's fist, pulled it back, and pushed his right knee hard towards Vegeta's lower abdomen. Vegeta didn't feel anything bad, so he quickly turned his right hand into an elbow, blocking his abdomen. PK. Lin Yan's knee landed heavily on Vegeta's right elbow. Vegeta's body suddenly couldn't bear the huge force, and flew upside down. It actually blocked it. There were 2 hits. Lin Yan looked at Vegeta in surprise, and said slowly. HMPH, how can the same attack hit me twice? Vegeta snorted coldly, squeezed his fist and said. 3 years ago, Lin Yan used this move to instantly defeat him. How could he be defeated by the same move? Really, you're a little bloated, Vegeta. When Lin Yan's faint voice fell, his body disappeared like a ghost. What, where did you go? Vegeta quickly glanced around, but couldn't see Lin Yan's body at all, as if he had completely disappeared from the ring at this moment. Even his breath is completely hard to catch. Lin Yan disappeared. What happened? The gold medal commentator looked blank, pushed his sunglasses, and kept searching the ring like Vegeta, but he couldn't see Lin Yan's body at all. The rest of the audience also couldn't see Lin Yan clearly. In the entire arena, only Vegeta is left. Too fast, even I can't catch his position. Son Gohan frowned and said in a low tone. At this moment in the arena, he could only see a black line continuously surrounding Vegeta's body. But there is no way to determine the exact location of Lin Yan. As for the others, except for Broly, no one can see anything at all. While Vegeta was looking around cautiously, Lin Yan's body suddenly appeared in front of Vegeta like a ghost. The knee hit Vegeta's stomach like lightning. Almost at the same time, 2 voices sounded, and Vegeta's body bowed directly and flew out backwards. Like an arrow leaving the string, it shot into the wall of the auditorium and fell to the ground again. A mouthful of blood spewed out, and the whole face twisted into a ball in an instant. Vegeta, the woman with the little boy cried out worriedly, looking at Vegeta. She didn't expect Vegeta to be so strong that he was defeated so quickly by the guy named Lin Yan. And his people didn't have too many surprises. After all, they all knew that the difference between Lin Yan's strength and Vegeta's was not even a star. To be able to persist in the ring for such a long time is already due to Lin Yan's mercy. Vegeta went out of bounds, and Lin Yan won. The commentator spoke in a trembling tone. Then he turned his gaze to Lin Yan. It seems that this guy will become the champion of this world's No.1 Martial Arts Association. After all, anyone can see that the strength of Son Goku and Vegeta is already quite strong. But even so, Lin Yan easily defeated the 2 of them, which showed that Lin Yan's strength was unfathomable. It seems that this time, Mr. Satan is in trouble. And in the final game of the 3rd round, number 18 will play against Keelan. After Keelan considered it again and again, he finally chose to abstain. After all, he had seen the strength of artificial man number 18, and he was not at the same level as her. Even if he really came on stage, it would be just a shame. Might as well just abstain like Piccolo. With Klin's abstention, the game finally entered the semi-finals. The semi-finalists are Lin Yan, Broly, Son Gohan and Shiba Chang people. As for the drawing order of the 4, Lin Yan got Broly. As for Son Gohan and number 18, it was their first appearance. TCH, that brat. Number 18 frowned slightly and looked at Son Gohan. She really didn't take that brat seriously before, but just before that, he actually defeated number 17, and no 17's strength surpassed her own. From this point of view, it is impossible for me to be Son Gohan's opponent. I abstained, 18th suddenly said to Lin Yan. What, abstain? This doesn't seem to be your style. Lin Yan looked at number 18 in disbelief, although he knew that number 18 might not be able to beat the current Son Gohan. But abstaining like this is really not in line with no 18's personality. This ending is actually a bit different from what Lin Yan thought at the beginning. Originally, he thought that he and Broly could get first and second, so that the prize money would be a little more. But now, they actually met Broly in the semi-finals. In this way, Broly might only be third and fourth with no 18. And Son Gohan turned out to be the second. Number 18 chooses to abstain, so the next battle will be the battle between Lin Yan and Broly. I'm afraid it will be the most exciting battle this year. Son Goku and others thought so in their hearts. After all, the strength of those 2 people is unfathomable, so they all want to know who is better between the 2. Abstain on the 18th in the semi-finals, and the next match will be between Lin Yan and Broly to determine the final candidate. After the 18th abstained, the commentator announced to the auditorium. The beginning of the semi-finals also once again brought the audience's emotions to a climax. Lin Yan and Brawly looked at each other, and with a flash of their bodies, they appeared directly on the ring. Master, I'm not interested in bonuses or anything, I just want to have a good fight with you. Brawly looked at Lin Yan and said excitedly. Thinking about fighting with Master, it has been 3 years. To be honest, only when fighting with Master can I feel the feeling of blood boiling. No matter how much he doesn't like to fight, the blood of the fighting nation Saiyan lies in his body. I don't like fighting, it's an opponent who doesn't make my blood boil. Well, you are the only one who can make me want to fight. Lin Yan nodded and spoke. Indeed, although Son Goku and Vegeta have become Super Saiyan, and their combat effectiveness is good, compared with Brawly, there is still a huge difference. I can't fight them with all my strength because of the 3-1-3. Then let us, Master and Apprentice, have a good fight today. Also let me see how you have progressed in the past 3 years. Lin Yan twitched his mouth and said to Brawly. Presumably with Brawly's talent, after his guidance at that time, his strength must have grown a lot in the past 3 years. Then, Lin Yan waved one hand out of thin air, and a huge shallow green energy barrier wrapped the entire ring in it. Wanting to create an energy barrier is a trivial matter for the current self, and the current self has unlimited energy, so it is not afraid of consumption at all. Then, what is that thing? I don't know, it seems that Lin Yan made it. In the auditorium, everyone looked at the shallow green energy barrier around the ring, and asked a little puzzled. But they have a strong feeling that there must be a very exciting battle next. It seems that those two guys are ready to go all out. Son Goku pursed his lips and spoke excitedly. Lin Yan obviously created such an energy barrier because he was afraid that the shock wave generated by their battle would hurt other spectators. Let me see the real strength of the two of you. Vegeta clenched his fist and looked forward to it, wanting to see how strong Lin Yan and Brawly are. What kind of gap exists between me and them? Since both contestants are ready, the match begins now. Although he didn't know what was going on with the shallow green thing, but seeing that the two were ready, the commentator announced. Come on Brawly. Lin Yan's eyes flickered with a fanatical desire to fight. This kind of fanatical desire seemed to only appear when he was fighting that guy Hit. Aha! Brawly nodded, and then his gaze was straightened, and his body flashed out, darting towards Lin Yan. Lin Yan was not slow either, he flashed out and met Brawly. The next moment, the fists of the two collided heavily, and a substantial shock wave swept away in all directions like a wave. Bang bang bang. When the terrifying shock wave hit the energy barrier, there were bursts of low humming sounds. The whole ground trembled twice. Both Brawly and Lin Yan gritted their teeth tightly, obviously exerting their strength to the limit. Click, click, click. Then, the ground under the two people's feet cracked in an instant, 10 cracks like small snakes spread to the surroundings. Ha! The two shouted loudly almost at the same time, and wisps of bright green flames erupted from their bodies. Then that Black's hair stood up high, and immediately turned into golden yellow, and it became a Super Saiyan. In the form of Super Saiyan, the two can perfectly control their own consciousness, so they turned into Super Saiyan without hesitation. Papa! A streak of blue lightning shot out directly from the junction of the two fists, which looked extremely shocking. These two forces are simply suffocating. Son Goku frowned, and spoke in a very low tone, far surpassing his own Super Saiyan 2 aura. No wonder that Guy Lin Yan was able to defeat himself in an instant when he became Super Saiyan 2. As for the others, they all opened their mouths wide in surprise. The strength of Lin Yan and Brawly has completely exceeded their level of intensity. In the auditorium, only the sound of swallowing saliva could be heard one after another. The strength of two people can actually make the whole ground tremble violently, which has made them unable to understand. However, although the situation at this time was very dangerous, no one wanted to miss this wonderful battle, and each of them turned their attention to the ring in a daze. Lin Yan and Brawly are completely evenly matched. After all, the current Lin Yan is completely competing with Brawly, and has not used other abilities. So it will be difficult to tell who is strong and who is weak for a while. Bang bang bang. The next moment, the two threw out several punches again. At this time, fists, elbows and knees collided violently non-stop. Every time there is a collision, the ground will tremble violently a few times, and one after another energy circles will continue to sweep away, hitting the barriers around the arena. The two of them withdrew their bodies at the same time, each taking a few steps back. Brawly's cultivation talent is really amazing. If things go on like this, I really have nothing to do with him. Lin Yan said with some surprise in his heart that he had not slackened his cultivation in the past 3 years. It seems that during the 3 years in Vampa, Brawly has been practicing all the time. And it seems that he has also controlled his power very well. After becoming Super Saiyan, he has no violent personality at all. Because 3 years ago, Brawly knew that Master Lin Yan's strength was strong, so it's no surprise that he didn't gain any advantage in this fight. But almost at the moment when his toes landed on the ground, Brawly's body burst out again and rushed towards Lin Yan. The body is like a sharp sword, cutting through the air, and the fist is aimed at Lin Yan. Lin Yan took a deep breath, looked at the extremely fast Brawly, didn't seem to plan to dodge, and let Brawly's fist hit him. Almost instantly, Brawly's fist directly hit Lin Yan's forehead. But the next moment, Brawly's fist directly penetrated Lin Yan's brow, without any resistance at all. What? Brawly was startled, and almost at the moment when Brawly's fist penetrated Lin Yan's afterimage, Lin Yan's body appeared on Brawly's right side, hitting Brawly's cheek like lightning. Brawly's body hit the ground heavily, wiped out a distance of 100 meters, and left a long trace on the ground before he heard it, but immediately stood up again. With his physical strength, such a small attack could not cause any injury to him at all. But I was also surprised, when did the master's speed become so fast? He dodged his own attack almost instantly, and knocked himself into the air. Then, the bright green arrogance around Brawly's body disappeared, and it returned to normal. Step by step towards Lin Yan. Master, I lost. Brawly smiled, and then asked curiously, Master, why were you so fast just now? I didn't feel your aura at all. It seems that you completely disappeared at the moment of the attack. Quote. Looking at Brawly with a Han smile and doubts on his face, Lin Yan said, I just cast a kind of ability called Flash Time, which I learned in the past 3 years. If you are interested, I will teach you later. Lin Yan doesn't want to hide anything from Brawly, a simple-minded, childlike guy. But he just told Brawly that he learned it, and he didn't want anyone to have a replication system in his body. Flash Time skill. Brawly looked puzzled, but thinking about the master's attack just now, the Flash Time skill should be quite strong. Well, to put it simply, it can jump the shackles of time. Lin Yan is just a brief introduction, as for whether Brawly can understand it, I don't know. I saw Brawly nodded half understanding, with an adoring look on his face. Unexpectedly, in the past 3 years, Master has learned such a powerful ability. After Brawly voluntarily conceded defeat, the two walked off the ring, and the commentator also began to announce that the winner this time was Lin Yan. The game has reached the final. A few minutes later, without any suspense, Lin Yan defeated Son Gohan almost instantly. After all, although Son Gohan has become a Super Saiyan, and his strength is comparable to or even surpasses the full power of Super Saiyan Vegeta, but in front of Lin Yan, it is not enough to look at. All the competitions of the number 1 Budokai in the world are officially over. The champion of my Budokai this time is contestant Lin Yan. The commentator explained enthusiastically, and at the same time looked at Lin Yan curiously. Anyone can see that Lin Yan is the strongest player in all the battles today. Even Son Gohan, who won the runner-up, was eliminated in an instant. The runner-up was our Son Gohan to our house Brawly. Because of No 18's abstention, Brawly won the 3rd place directly. The 2nd place was taken by that brat Son Gohan. The corner of Lin Yan's mouth raised slightly, and he said in a low voice. But there is not much discomfort, after all, Son Goku's family situation is not very good, with the 50 million bonus, it should be relieved. As for myself, the first prize is 100 million, and the 3rd place is also 10 million. The sum of myself and Brawly is 110 million. And later on, Mr. Satan will probably donate some to himself. So it's acceptable. Then, our super burning, super explosive, most exciting finale exhibition match, Lin Yan, the champion of this year's number 1 Budokai in the world, will face off against our world's number Mr. Satan. When speaking, the narrator will raise his voice several decibels. Emotions are well handled. Almost at the moment when the voice of the narrator fell, there was overwhelming cheers and thunderous applause in the auditorium. Satan, Satan. Almost everyone started calling Satan's name with enthusiasm. Mr. Satan, can you really defeat that Lin Yan? He also looks very good. In the auditorium, some people began to whisper, although Satan is known as the world's #1 fighting champion, but Lin Yan's performance just now is quite amazing. It can be seen that there is a lot of strength. HMPH, young man, please remove the word. It is undeniable that the player named Lin Yan does have some strength, but Mr. Satan is the strongest martial artist, how could anyone be his opponent? An old man with white beard and hair said to the young man with a displeased face. Satan, that is a godlike existence, no one can defeat him at all. Master, I don't think so. I also watched the first 2 world #1 martial arts championships live. Mr. Satan's strength is completely incomparable to theirs. At this time, another young man sitting next to the uncle spoke very frankly. No matter in terms of speed or strength, the world's #1 martial arts association in the last 2 quarters could not be compared with this one at all. In the auditorium, there were constant bustling debates. One side supported Satan unconditionally, and the other side also supported Lin Yan, the dark horse. It's just that Mr. Satan, who is the protagonist of the world's #1 martial arts association, is hiding in the room shivering with fright. It wasn't until the staff had no other choice that pried open the door of the VIP room and dragged Mr. Satan out. 10 minutes later, he finally entered the ring trembling. Lin Yan looked at Satan, whose legs were trembling constantly, and smiled coldly. Are those audiences stupid? The Mr. Satan in their hearts is almost scared to pee, can't 10 of them see it? Satan finally walked towards the ring step by step. When he saw Lin Yan's indifferent eyes, his body trembled again. I will be killed, what should I do? Thinking of the live broadcast in the VIP room, Lin Yan knocked Son Goku and Vegeta out of the ring in an instant. If he also used that kind of power, he might be able to kill himself in an instant. Okay, it looks like Mr. Satan and Lin Yan are ready, so, the most exciting match starts now. The narrator spoke enthusiastically. Satan, Satan. There was another tidal wave of shouts from the audience. But the more they support Satan, the more Satan cannot afford to lose. Go down by yourself. I'll take you down, Mr. Satan. Lin Yan stepped forward, looked and said coldly. Chapter 111. Absolutely. You must not lose. If you lose today, you will definitely be ridiculed by everyone in the future. If Vital knows that I lost the game, he will definitely ignore me. In an instant, countless scenes of being spurned after losing the game flashed in Satan's mind, as well as the image of Vital ignoring himself. Immediately my whole body trembled. This kind of thing must not be allowed to happen. If he really fights with Lin Yan, he definitely has no chance of winning, but if he uses tricks, in the face of absolute strength, tricks are useless at all. And Lin Yan is not an ordinary kid, how could I be able to fool him? Mr. Satan, player Lin Yan, please start your comparison. Seeing that neither of them wanted to do anything, the commentator just opened his mouth to remind him. Then, Lin Yan walked towards Satan step by step. Mr. Satan, don't waste time, you can't beat me. After Lin Yan walked up to Satan, he said to Satan with a sneer on his face. The reason why he doesn't want to eliminate Satan now is because he suddenly has an idea. This idea can make a lot of money. Now I can indeed eliminate Satan in an instant and expose his hypocritical disguise. Let him be notorious from now on and be spurned by others, but in this way, it will not do him any good. I have to beat you. Seeing Lin Yan, who had already walked in front of him, Satan gritted his teeth and mustered up his courage. Then it turned out to be a punch towards Lin Yan. Satan's fist landed heavily on Lin Yan's chest. Successful, I hit him. Satan was ecstatic for a moment, he didn't expect to hit Lin Yan. Then, the unified combination Wang Bakwan hammered Lin Yan's mouth non-stop. Good, that's amazing. Mr. Satan took the lead in attacking, and a set of combined punches made it impossible for Lin Yan to fight back. Seeing that Satan was beating Lin Yan, the narrator spoke excitedly. There was thunderous cheers from the auditorium. Satan Eve. In just 10 seconds, Mr. Satan has attacked Lin Yan nearly 100 punches, but it seems to be useless, because Lin Yan is not moved at all. Looking at the situation on the ring, Although Satan made a sharp combination attack, it was obvious that Lin Yan had nothing to do at all. What's going on? Mr. Satan's fist seems useless at all. Yeah, that guy is just like a rock, motionless. In the auditorium, the overwhelming shouts disappeared, and one after another doubtful voices sounded. Satan began to panic when he heard the doubting voices. If this continues, his reputation will plummet. No, I must eliminate this guy quickly to restore my reputation. Satan gritted his teeth and stopped. Then the fist intensified again and hit Lin Yan. The next moment, Lin Yan directly grabbed Satan's fist. You attack, can you use some strength? Lin Yan was speechless. How could this guy's strength not be as strong as the other players in the top 16? Satan was grabbed by Lin Yan, and suddenly felt a pain in his fist, and struggled in a panic. But Lin Yan's fists are like iron tongs. No matter how hard he struggles, he can't break free from the control. At this moment, he didn't want to win the game at all. He felt that it was already a luxury for him to get off the ring safely. What's going on? Mr. Satan's attack doesn't seem to be effective, and it seems to be countered by Lin Yan now. The commentator looked at the scene on the ring and said with some doubts. Originally thought it would be a wonderful game, but now it seems that there is nothing to watch at all. At this time, he also knew that Satan was no match for Lin Yan at all, but he didn't know why Lin Yan had to show mercy and not directly eliminate Satan. Do you want to win the game? Lin Yan suddenly had an idea, looked at Satan and asked. Hearing Lin Yan's words, Satan nodded. He must want to win the game. No, I don't want to. But then he quickly shook his head again. With his current strength, this kind of thinking is completely unnecessary. It's good to be able to save your life. How dare you expect to win the game? I can make a deal with you. I will let you win the game, but you need to give me a sum of money. Lin Yan looked at Satan and said, this guy must have amassed a lot of money by virtue of his status as the world's #1 martial arts champion. This kind of local rich man is in front of him. If he doesn't blackmail him at this time, he will feel sorry for himself. Furthermore, for the false title of the champion of the world's #1 martial arts association, how can money matter? How much do you need? Satan was obviously moved after hearing Lin Yan's deal, so he asked vigilantly. 2 billion. Lin Yan answered very simply. 2 words are not a small number to him, but they should be taken out to Satan. 200 million. Satan was taken aback. This guy really opened his mouth like a lion. The prize money for the champion of the world's #1 martial arts club is only 100 million, but he actually said it was 200 million. In this case, you can go down. Lin Yan lifted Satan up, and then threw him out. Satan's body fell directly and heavily 10 meters away, and he was thrown on his back immediately. His nose was bruised and his face was swollen. You are finished, Mr. Satan. This is my last attack. I saw Lin Yan pointed at Satan with one hand, and a stone mill-sized energy ball condensed in his palm. The moment the energy ball condensed, the temperature of the entire arena and auditorium rose. Everyone looked at this scene in shock, and thought of Satan in their hearts. Can Mr. Yin Zhao continue? Wait a minute, I'll give me. Looking at the huge energy ball and feeling the strong breath of death, Satan quickly agreed. If he doesn't agree, I'm afraid he will really kill himself. Isn't it okay to cooperate so early? Lin Yan gave Satan a cold look, and the energy ball in his palm directly hit Satan not far away. The almost ordinary ring was turned into powder in an instant. Satan's pupils shrank into 2 mung beans, his face was dull, and 2 snots flowed directly to his mouth. No, not dead, that's great. When he turned his head and looked at the other half of the arena that had turned into a deep pit, Satan felt extremely fortunate in his heart. After Lin Yan made the shot, he looked at the commentator and said, Mr. Satan is too powerful, I abstain. After speaking, Lin Yan gently jumped off the ring. Back to number 18 in Bulma. At this time, the audience was silent. What happened? Obviously Lin Yan completely crushed Satan. Why did he suddenly choose to abstain? Everyone was stupefied and couldn't figure it out at all. Perhaps, in his eyes, Mr. Satan's strength is simply not on the stage. He doesn't even bother to fight for the title of #1 in the world. The commentator looked at Lin Yan and thought with a sigh in his heart. Perhaps, This is the real martial arts spirit. His heart is quite open. Why did you choose to abstain? You can easily defeat Satan. Bulma asked with some puzzlement, looked at Lin Yan and asked. A guy like Satan can't even beat Yamcha Qilin at all, and in front of Lin Yan, it's not worth mentioning at all. What's the point of defeating him and becoming the strongest man on earth? Anyway, everyone can see my strength, and I can make a fortune, so why not do it? Lin Yan smiled, looked at Bulma with a relaxed face and said. In this world, there are so many strong people who can destroy the earth with their hands. His vision is not just to defeat a Satan. There is no point in defeating him. Besides, what I did was not to let Satan continue to be on the altar, and my last attack was to let everyone know that Satan is just a clown. In this battle, who is strong and who is weak, as long as the audience is not too stupid, they can tell at a glance. Son Goku and others seemed to understand Lin Yan's approach, but they just cast their eyes on Lin Yan and smiled. Lin Yan chose to abstain, and the final winner was Mr. Satan, and Mr. Satan retained his title of No. 1 fighting champion in the world. After being stunned for a moment, the commentator looked away from Lin Yan and announced loudly to the audience. But this time, all the spectators were in a state of embarrassment, with doubts on their faces, and only a few sparse sounds. Because everyone is not a fool, it can be seen that Lin Yan's method just now can defeat or even kill Satan, but he didn't do that. Although I don't understand why he did this, but the name Lin Yan is deeply remembered by everyone. Perhaps, he just didn't want to embarrass Satan too much, or maybe he didn't want everyone on the earth to see that the hero they had believed in for a long time was so vulnerable. And Satan, now in the ring, only felt very ashamed at the moment. His face was hot, as if he had been slapped wildly by someone. He wished he could find a crack in the ground and get in. At this moment, he felt that he was more uncomfortable than Lin Yan being eliminated directly. The number 1 martial arts club in the world ended, and all the audience left one after another with some regrets. Today's final results should not be like this. But the name Lin Yan was remembered by everyone. Satan is still the strongest fighting champion in the world, but mentioning it now makes people feel very uncomfortable. It seems that none of the people participating in the world's number 1 martial arts club this time is a simple character, except for Mr. Satan, the world's number 1 martial arts champion. And after the end of Tianxia number 1 Budokai, Lin Yan successfully got a bonus of 110 million. Satan is also very honest. After learning about Lin Yan's residence, he personally took over the pledge of 500 million yuan and expressed his sincere thanks to Lin Yan. Of course, Lin Yan only cared about his 500 million, and scoffed at Satan's thanks. Half a month passed quickly, and within this half month, Lin Yan also bought himself a big villa, and moved out with Bulma, number 18 and Brawly. And in this half month, I also successfully found the time machine that Cell was riding in. As long as Bulma is improved and repaired, it will be able to be used again soon. After all, a long time ago, Lin Yan planned to take the time machine to go to other places, and the one he wanted to go the most was the time and space of Dragon Balked. It's just that the time and space of Dragon Balked and the time and space I'm in now are parallel time and space, not the same time and space, and I don't know if I can use the time machine to lose it. Lin Yan, the time machine has been fully restored, and there is still a lot of energy left in the time machine, which is probably enough for you to go back and forth to the future time and space. Bulma stood in front of the restored time machine and said to Lin Yan. After half a month, Bulma has obviously gradually gotten used to the lives of the three of them, so his tone has almost returned to before. It was fixed so quickly. Awesome Bulma. Lin Yan took Bulma's hand and praised him sincerely. Originally, he thought it would take at least a month or two to repair the time machine, but he didn't expect it to only take half a month, which was a bit beyond his expectation. That's right, you don't even look at what Miss Ben does. Being praised by Lin Yan, Bulma was also unceremonious and said proudly. Now that the time machine has been repaired, are you two interested in going to other time and space to have a look? Lin Yan looked at Bulma and No. 18, Taguchi said. Although there is a certain purpose in going to GT time and space by myself this time, it is still a trip, and it would be too boring if I went alone. And if the time machine breaks down or something in the middle, I will be completely helpless. But if you bring Bulma, you can help yourself a lot. Of course, number 18 would definitely not be happy if he just took Bulma with him, so he simply took them with him. Moreover, it took too long to go by myself, and it was really unfair to number 18 if I just took Bulma with me, and I was a little bit reluctant. You mean, you want to take me with no? 18. Bulma asked in surprise. After all, Lin Yan never mentioned bringing himself when he went to other places a few times ago. And I never thought about it myself. We too, won't it cause you any inconvenience? Number 18 also asked in surprise. Of course I will take you there, otherwise it would be too boring for me to go alone. Can the two wives do me a favor? Lin Yan nodded seriously first, and then asked the two of them with a smile on his face. TCH, no one is serious. Both of them rolled their eyes at Lin Yan at the same time, but they were very happy in their hearts. First, it must be very interesting to be able to travel with Lin Yan across time and space. Second, since Lin Yan is going to take them there, it shows their place in his heart. Okay, let's get ready and set off tomorrow. Anyway, there is nothing wrong here now. Son Goku has also become Super Saiyan 2, so nothing should happen. And there is a Broly here, so I can leave with complete peace of mind. Early the next morning, Lin Yan went to Broly and told him a lot of things. He might go to other places and asked him to help him take a look at the Earth first. But usually you don't need to take action, let Son Goku and others solve it, and only when it is absolutely necessary can you help. But when he makes a move, it is absolutely impossible to show his full strength and enter a state of berserk, otherwise, the whole Earth is afraid that he will destroy it. Although Broly was a bit reluctant, he nodded and agreed. After all, he knew that Master must have his reasons. After bidding farewell to Broly, Lin Yan didn't tell anyone that he was going to another place, and directly took Bulma and number 18 on the time machine and went to the future time and space. Fortunately, the space of the time machine is just enough to accommodate 3 people. Hey, I'm really a little nervous. After getting on the time machine, Lin Yan was still a little nervous. After all, the GT time space is not the future time space of the main time space, but a parallel time space in the future, and he doesn't know if the time machine can reach it. But think about it, even if there is no way to achieve it, at least you can go to the future time and space to see what happened in the future, and whether you have appeared in the future time and space. Lin Yan, how many years are we going? Bulma sat in front of the driver and asked Lin Yan. In a few years, in 19 years. After Lin Yan thought about it for a while, he spoke. Now there are still more than 6 years before Majin Buu appears, and in GT time and space, Son Gohan's daughter Xiaofang is already 12 years old, roughly calculated, if there are no mistakes, 19 years later, it should be that time and space. Of course, it may also appear in the future time and space of Internet 19 years later. Bulma nodded, set the time and space traveled to 19 years later on the front display, and then pressed the start button. Then, a white halo appeared around the time machine, and after a short while, the time machine disappeared in place. Time flies, especially for the 3 of Lin Yan in the time machine. A few days passed quickly. Isn't the time machine able to go to the future time and space in an instant? How can it be so slow? In the time machine, number 18 said impatiently. I originally thought that I would be able to go to the future time and space all at once, but I didn't expect that it has been 3 days and it still hasn't arrived. To be honest, I don't know much about this. Lin Yan also shook his head helplessly. His idea was actually the same as that of No. 18. He thought that the time machine could reach the set destination in an instant, and it took so long. It also made him a little unbelievable. Soon, we should be in the time and space 19 years later. Hearing the voices of the two, Bulma spoke. Because the time displayed on the time machine is already quite close, presumably it will take a few more hours to reach the destination. Then, the 3 of them closed their eyes again. Sitting in this narrow space for 3 days, Lin Yan and number 18 didn't feel anything, but Bulma was obviously very tired. After 3 days, the remaining few hours passed quite quickly for them. 1. Suddenly, a breakthrough sound appeared in the air, and then the time machine that Lin Yan and others were riding appeared in the air. Has it arrived yet? Lin Yan slowly opened his eyes, feeling a little nervous, not knowing which time and space 19 years later he appeared in now. Let's go. Go out and have a look. Lin Yan grabbed Bulma's waist, and after the three got out of the time machine, Bulma put the time machine into the capsule. After all, this thing is the key to helping them return to their time and space, and it must be well preserved. After getting out of the time machine, Lin Yan saw a familiar scene, high-rise buildings, and the flow of people on the street. Then the three of them fell to the ground, almost at the moment Lin Yan and the three of them landed. The pedestrians who were busy all of a sudden suddenly seemed to feel the enemy, a look of anger appeared in their eyes, Black's arrogance surrounded their bodies, they turned their heads to look at Lin Yan and the others, and surrounded them. What's going on? There seems to be something wrong with these people. Seeing the crowd of people rushing towards them like zombies, Bulma spoke with a little fear in his tone. There is definitely something wrong with these people. Well, everyone seems to be under control. Lin Yan glanced around, nodded and said, because he could feel that there was an evil aura in the bodies of these people, and the eyes of each of them were as red as Shira. It was obviously controlled by someone. Could it be, it's Baby? Have we really come to GT time and space? A gleam of joy suddenly appeared in Lin Yan's eyes, and he spoke. It should be only Baby's parasitic ability that can make all the people on the earth become like this. Dirty Saiyan, all should die. After those humans saw the three of Lin Yan, they approached them like zombies, their eyes were red, and they kept repeating this sentence in their mouths. Looks like it really is Baby. After hearing those people's chanting, Lin Yan murmured to himself. The only one who can have such resentment towards Saiyan is the Zivrian who was once destroyed by Saiyan, and Baby is the product of the Zivrian technology. So for Saiyan, full of hate. It looks like those people are going to eat us, what should we do now? Bulma asked worriedly. HMPH, it's just a group of common people, they'll be cleaned up in a few clicks. Number 18 pointed his palm directly in front of everyone, and an energy ball condensed out of his palm. No, they are just common people being controlled by others, there is no need to be cruel. Lin Yan grabbed No 18's hand, and then said calmly. Then a terrifying aura erupted from his body in an instant, and the wave-like aura instantly shocked everyone back dozens of steps and fell to the ground. There is a very evil smell, is it Baby? Suddenly, Lin Yan felt a powerful evil aura at this time. Come on, let's go and see. Then Lin Yan grabbed number 18 and Bulma by the hand, and followed the breath of instant transmission. The body disappeared in place. And in a barren valley on the earth, there are only 5 figures in midair at this time, 4 men and 1 woman. If Lin Yan is here, he must be very familiar with these 5 figures. They are Vegeta, Son Gohan, Son Goten, Trunks and Bra. It's just that Vegeta at this time is a little different, with silvery white hair and eyebrows, and 2 symmetrical red stripes on his forehead. With shallow blue pupils and a bloodthirsty evil curve at the corner of his mouth, he looked down. And on the ground below, a young figure was lying on the rubble pile on the ground, wearing a tattered martial arts uniform, his body was covered with scars, obviously it was Son Goku when he was a child. At this time, little Son Goku frowned, looked at Vegeta, and the others in midair, and whispered. I didn't expect that guy Baby to become so powerful after occupying Vegeta's body. What's even worse for 010 is that after his body was reduced by the Dragon Ball, he couldn't maintain the form of Super Saiyan 3 for a long time, and he couldn't defeat the baby parasitic in Vegeta's body. Moreover, Gohan and Goten have also been controlled by Baby, and now they are even scarred, and there is no way to deal with Baby. Goku, Saiyan. You filthy creatures, disappear now. Baby possessed by Vegeta looked at Son Goku coldly, raised the corner of his mouth, and said evilly. His tone was unusually cold. After waiting for so long, these dirty Saiyans are finally about to be completely destroyed in his own hands. Then he raised his hands high, and murmured, all the subjects of the Zephyrs, release all your resentment towards Saiyan. Accompanied by Baby's deep voice, all the human beings on the whole earth, except Majin Buu, Satan and Xiaofang burst out with black flames in their bodies. Then they converged directly towards the top of Baby's head, forming a huge black energy ball, and the black lightning crackled one after another, looking extremely terrifying. And that energy, with the injection of a little bit of black energy flame, is getting bigger and bigger, and the breath is getting more and more terrifying. Son Goku frowned. From the energy ball, he felt the breath of death, And now, after the battle with Baby, he has absolutely no strength to fight back. At this time, there is absolutely nothing to do. Goku, just let you feel the vengeful death bomb of all the Xivir's resentment towards you Saiyan. The corner of Baby's mouth grinned, and the revenge death bomb condensed by all the parasitic earthlings in his palm directly blasted towards Son Goku. It's over. It's over, there's no way to escape. A helpless smile appeared on the corner of Son Goku's mouth, and he spoke in disappointment. With my current physical strength, there is no way to dodge, even instant transmission, there is no way to do it. I can only watch that Black's energy ball grow bigger and bigger in my eyes. And at this time, God Jebat and the old Supreme Kai, who were far away on the planet Supreme Kai, looked at the scene in the crystal ball in front of them, with expressions of panic and anxiety on their faces. If even Goku is killed by Baby, then the whole Earth, and even all the planets, will definitely be destroyed by that guy Baby, and even though the two of them are Supreme Kai. But there is no way to stop Baby. Hurry up and use instant transmission to bring Goku here. As long as you stimulate Goku's potential ability, you may be able to defeat Baby. The always unscrupulous old Supreme Kai said to God Jabatat very seriously at this time. Goku is a fighting nation Saiyan. His body contains huge potential. As long as he stimulates this potential, maybe it can make Goku become the existence of Super Saiyan 3. When the time comes, fix enough to beat Babies. This is the best way, and the only way right now. Yes, Ancestor. God Jabatat nodded without any hesitation. Goku is now the universe's only hope, so he must not have any surprises. Then the two fingers directly clicked between the eyebrows, and the body instantly disappeared on the Supreme Kai planet. But on the Earth, at this time, Baby's revenge death bullet has infinitely approached Son Goku. When it was 3 chapters away from the ground, the terrifying pressure caused all the mountains to collapse directly, and the ground also collapsed under pressure. How many points? It's over. It's over. This guy is really too strong. I really can't be reconciled. At this time, Son Goku almost gave up completely, but he is very unwilling now. Unexpectedly, Vegeta has become so powerful here, but now I can't use my full strength to have fun with him. It's really reconciled. Boom. The next moment, the revenge death bomb hit the ground directly, and the whole ground collapsed instantly, and an unfathomable sinkhole appeared. And Son Goku's body has completely disappeared on the ground. Ha ha ha. Goku, you are finally dead. Baby laughed out loud. Son Goku is the biggest resistance to completely eradicate all Saiyans, since Son Goku is already dead. Then, there is no need for such rubbish as Son Gohan and Trunks to follow behind. They have no value anymore. Has anyone ever told you that your laugh is very annoying? Suddenly, a cold voice sounded from behind, and Baby's laughter stopped abruptly. Turned around quickly, but saw a few strange voices. 2 men and 2 women. One of the men held the seriously injured Son Goku in his hand. And these people are Lin Yan, who just came over from instant transmission, and Jebat God and the others. Should I call you Vegeta? Or should I call you Xiver Baby? Lin Yan looked at Baby jokingly, and said. What? Don't say it's Baby. Even the God Jabata is stunned. What is going on with these few people in front of them? When did they 1.1 appear suddenly, and in their minds, they didn't know such a few people. Saiyan, didn't expect you to be Saiyan too. Suddenly, Baby saw the brown tail coiled around Lin Yan's waist, and said in surprise. From the memories of Vegeta and Son Gohan, he knew that there were only Son Goku, Vegeta and Son Gohan Trunks left on Saiyan on Earth. And it's Saiyan that no one has ever seen. That's right, I'm also Saiyan, the Saiyan who will kill you. Lin Yan asked coldly. At the same time, holding Son Goku's hand, a little bit of energy injected into Son Goku's body. The wound on Son Goku is also healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. And at this very moment, those lines of small words, blue, on Lin Yan's retina reappeared. Copy object. Son Goku. Copyable skills. 10 times Kamehameha Wave, Kaioken, Spirit Bomb, Dragon Fist. However, this kind of situation happened more often, and Lin Yan didn't have too many surprises. Just say it straight in your head. Duplicate Kamehameha Wave and Dragon Fist 10 times over. As for Kaioken and Spirit Bomb, I have already copied them in Son Goku in my own time and space. In fact, until now, apart from the time when I fought Frieza, I haven't used Kaioken and Spirit Bomb much. It's more like a decoration. Because the current me, the enemies I met didn't let me use Spirit Bomb at all. 10 times the Kamehameha wave, maybe it will come in handy when encountering tough opponents like Beerus and Jiren in the future. As for the Dragon Fist, it is also a terrifying trump card. It will definitely come in handy in the future. In just 10 seconds, Son Goku's injuries were completely healed. After Lin Yan let go, Son Goku looked at Lin Yan in astonishment. This guy, why does he have the same healing function as Jebat God? Are you Saiyan too? Son Goku looked at the tail on Lin Yan's waist, and asked in surprise. You are Bulma and no. 18. Why are you here, and you seem to be much younger? Later, when Son Goku saw Bulma and number 18, he was even more surprised. Judging by their appearance, they should not be controlled by Baby, and they look much younger. Goku. Bulma frowned, looking at the little one in front of him. It was exactly the same as when he first saw it. Are you sure we traveled 19 years later? Not 19 years ago. Looking at the little Son Goku in front of him, Bulma turned to Lin Yan and asked. That's right, we did go back 19 years later. Lin Yan nodded very positively. Now this situation, how wrong, Son Goku must have been turned into a child by Pilaf with the Black Dragon Ball. Excuse me, who are you? Why have I never seen you? At this time, God Jebat looked at Lin Yan and asked. The tone is quite cautious, because he can feel that the Saiyan in front of him is very strong, maybe even surpassing Goku. So he has to confirm what is the purpose of his coming to Earth, whether it is an enemy or a friend. My name is Lin Yan, and as you can see, I am a Saiyan like Son Goku Vegeta. Nice to meet you, Jebat God. After hearing Jabater's cautious tone, Lin Yan looked at Jabater, smiled knowingly, and extended a hand of friendship. You actually know me? God Jebat was surprised again, but still stretched out his hand to Lin Yan. After all, if you don't reach out to hit the smiling person, that Saiyan named Lin Yan is so polite, how can I refuse? How dare you refuse? When the two held hands together, Lin Yan smiled even more happily. Because on the retina, a line of small words, blue, appeared again. Copy object. Jebat God. Duplicated skills. Instant transmission, superpowers, enhanced healing. Copy talent. Long life. When he saw the small words, Lin Yan was more excited than copying the Dragon Fist and Kamehameha wave 10 times. After all, Jebat God's instant transmission is much more powerful than his own instant transmission. His own instant transmission is learned from the Subdelit planet, and can only instant transmission to places with life and breath. You have to feel the breath before you can perform instant transmission, but the instant transmission of Jabata does not need to feel the breath at all. As long as you have the destination, you can reach it in an instant. Moreover, the healing technique of Jebat God is far more powerful than Den's healing technique. Of course, the long life of the God of Return can at least live for hundreds of millions of years or even longer. Copy the skills and talents of the Jebat God. Lin Yan didn't hesitate at the moment, just said in his mind by default. Copy successfully. Copied skills. Instant transmission, superpower, enhanced healing. Copied talent. Supreme Kai's long life. After the copy was successful, Lin Yan let go of Jebat God's hand. After all, his handshake was originally purposeful. In fact, Lin Yan still held in his heart that he could replicate Supreme Kai's ability to travel through time and space, but now it seems that the ability to travel through time and space, which is an external object of the time-space ring, cannot be replicated. But even though it didn't work out, I wasn't too disappointed. After all, he has already gained a lot in these few minutes. Baby possessed in Vegeta's body is really powerful. I think we should go back to the Supreme Kai planet to make plans. The ancestors said that it can help Goku unleash his potential, and maybe he can defeat Baby. Jebat God looked at Son Goku and Lin Yan, then at Baby and Son Gohan who were not far away, and said with some concern. Although I am very unwilling, but now I really can't beat Baby. Son Goku shook his fist and said unwillingly. Because of my smaller body, my energy is no longer enough to support me to become Super Saiyan 3. Can't become Super Saiyan 3, really can't beat Baby. After hearing Jabatat's words, Lin Yan turned his head to look at number 18 and Bulma, and said, "You two go to the Supreme Kai planet with Jabatat and Goku first. I want to try it." Attached, how much strength does baby in Vegeta's body have? Lin Yan pursed his lips, a look of excitement flashed on his face. Baby's current strength should be in the peak state of Super Saiyan 3. If he does not use the flash time skill and time pause ability and does not go berserk, I don't know if I can beat him. Just use him to test how strong your current basic strength is. Seeing Lin Yan's excited expression, number 18 and Bulma also knew that the opponent in front of them should be strong. If they stay here, they may hinder Lin Yan from fighting. Then he nodded in agreement. That guy baby is very strong, are you sure you want to fight him? Son Goku looked at the excited Lin Yan, Taguchi reminded. After all, in his opinion, the strength of his own Super Saiyan 3 is already quite powerful. But he is still not baby's opponent. He doesn't believe that this Saiyan who suddenly appeared has strength stronger than Super Saiyan 3. No, I'm not going to fight him, I'm going to kill him. Lin Yan raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and said arrogantly. What, you mean you're going to kill baby? Jebat God had a shocked expression on his face, and even wondered if he had heard it wrong. The Saiyan in front of him, who had never masked his face, actually wanted to kill baby. How is this possible? You know, even Goku from Super Saiyan 3 can't defeat baby. That's right. Seeing the disbelieving expression on Jabata's face, Lin Yan just nodded slightly. Ah, it seems that you are quite confident, so give it a try. Looking at Lin Yan with a calm face, Son Goku suddenly smiled and said. He could feel a very powerful force from Lin Yan's body. Moreover, there is also a feeling that makes me feel jealous, maybe he can really fight with baby, or even defeat him. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. And on baby's side, baby was very angry, and he almost got rid of Son Goku just now. I didn't expect to be rescued by that guy who suddenly appeared, and that guy was also Saiyan. Absolutely, absolutely unforgivably, must kill these purebred Saiyan wild monkeys. Master baby, please allow us to clean up that Saiyan. At this time, Son Gohan, Son Goten and Trunks said respectfully to baby. There is a red light in the eyes, obviously it has been controlled by baby. Well, kill them for me. Baby thought about it, and decided to let the three of Son Gohan try that Saiyan to see if he has the strength. Yes, Master baby. After getting baby's approval, the three of Son Gohan showed ferocious smiles on their faces, and the corners of their evil mouths raised high. Then the body flashed and directly attacked Lin Yan. Act recklessly. Lin Yan looked at the three of Son Gohan who were looting, and snorted coldly. The next moment, his body disappeared instantly. It simply disappeared out of thin air, without any signs at all, and even in that extremely short period of time, his aura disappeared completely in a very strange way. Bang bang bang. Then, several muffled sounds came, and the bodies of Son Gohan, Son Goten, and Trunks flew backwards at a faster speed than when they were coming. Boom. Almost at the same time, the bodies of the three of them plunged heavily into the rocks in the distance. As for Lin Yan's body, it was as if he had never left the same place at all. Okay, that's amazing. Son Goku subconsciously opened his mouth with a look of astonishment. Although Gohan's strength is not as good as theirs, they are still the strength of Super Saiyan 2, and there are also Trunks and Goten, who are not weak. He was defeated in an instant, and just now, even he didn't see how Lin Yan attacked at all. I didn't even feel a breath. This is too scary. Okay, what a powerful force. Gohan and the others were defeated in one fell swoop. Jebat God also had a look on his face, looking at Lin Yan in disbelief. I can't tell at all that he has such a terrifying strength. Maybe as he said, he can really defeat baby, and it's not certain. Goku, let's go back first. It should be no problem to leave it to Mr. Lin Yan. Seeing that Lin Yan killed the three of Son Gohan in an instant, Jebat God said to Son Goku. There was a little more awe in the tone. After all, the scene just now was quite shocking to them. Well, he does have exciting abilities, and, you also know instant transmission, right? Son Goku nodded, then smiled, looked at Lin Yan, and asked. Jebat God and Lin Yan appeared together just now, and they were able to save themselves at a critical moment. They must have cast instant transmission. That's right, just like you, I also have instant transmission. Lin Yan didn't mean to hide anything, so he just nodded and said, there is no need to hide this kind of thing. He is really a curious guy, not to mention his strength, he can even know instant transmission. Son Goku thought secretly in his heart. Alright Goku, let's go back to the Supreme Kai planet first. Jabata grabbed Son Goku's shoulders and placed his hands between his eyebrows. Lin Yan, be careful. Both Bulma and Number 18 spoke seriously. Don't worry, this kind of poor thing that can only parasitize in other people's bodies can't hurt me. Lin Yan nodded confidently. Then Bulma and Number 18 also put their hands on the shoulders of Jebat God, and the bodies of the four disappeared in place in an instant. TCH, let that wild monkey Son Goku run away, but... Baby clenched his fists tightly, and looked at Lin Yan with two vicious eyes. The Saiyan in front of him, from the disgusting tail, knows that he is also a purebred Hania team. That being the case, let's start the massacre with him first. At that time, I will kill Son Goku. Anyway, the ending of Saiyan is the same, that is death. Dirty Saiyan, go to hell. After making sure to attack Saiyan in front of him first, Baby roared angrily, squeezed out an energy ball in his palm, and threw it towards Lin Yan. Cut. Looking at the pink energy ball, Lin Yan slightly raised the corner of his mouth, snorted coldly, and then waved his right hand casually, and the energy ball flew out. Baby, is that your strength? After slapping Baby's energy ball flying away, Lin Yan said jokingly. And Lin Yan's contemptuous tone obviously made Baby a little annoyed. He had obviously possessed Vegeta's body and became the strongest person in the universe. How can you tolerate a Saiyan being so presumptuous in front of your own good? After gnashing his teeth, his body flickered and rushed towards Lin Yan. The speed is quite amazing. After all, after being possessed in Vegeta's body, his strength is already comparable to Son Goku of Super Saiyan 3, and just now he absorbed all the energy of the four of Son Gohan. Has become the ultimate form. In this world, it is absolutely impossible for anyone to be his opponent. And almost at the moment when Baby's body flashed out, Lin Yan clenched his fists lightly, and a vast aura poured out of his body in an instant. Green's arrogance surged around him. At this moment, Lin Yan suddenly turned into a Super Saiyan claw. After all, the current Baby should have the strength of Super Saiyan's 3 full powers. If it is normal, I'm afraid it will be really difficult to deal with. Immediately afterwards, after turning into Super Saiyan, the body also flashed out, and the fist directly met Baby. Boom! The fists of the two collided heavily, and almost at the moment of the collision, the bodies of the two flew upside down like two boulders. Lin Yan's body fell directly to the ground, and a huge crater suddenly appeared, and a large area collapsed. But Baby directly hit a mountain peak and smashed the huge mountain peak into gravel before stopping. I didn't expect Baby's power to reach such a terrifying level while possessing Vegeta's body. It's really surprising. Lin Yan squeezed his fist, feeling a tingling sensation, and his whole arm was aching. We must know that the current Vegeta is only the strength of Super Saiyan 2. With that kind of power, it is simply impossible to collide with him. In contrast to Lin Yan's astonishment, Baby's heart immediately turned into a turbulent sea. He always thought that after possessing Vegeta's body, his power was already the strongest in the universe. And he also intends to use this absolute power to make the entire universe realize the goal of humanizing Xiver. But he never expected that the Saiyan who suddenly appeared in front of him would have such terrifying power, and he punched him, but he was still at a disadvantage. Okay, what a strong body. If I live in his body, my strength will definitely surpass what I have now. By then, I will definitely become the real strongest person in the universe. After a brief surprise, a look of excitement appeared on Baby's face. The strength of Saiyan in front of him obviously surpasses Vegeta by a lot. If he lives in his body, his strength will reach a whole new level. At that time, no one in this universe will be able to compete with me. Thinking of this, Baby looked at Lin Yan with a salivating expression. HMPH, do you want to get my idea? You really are not so brave. Looking at Baby's sinister smile, Lin Yan naturally knew what was going on in Baby's mind. After all, his physical strength and strength far surpassed Vegeta's, so it was expected that he would become the object that Baby wanted to parasitize. But if he thought of himself as Vegeta, he would be wrong. When this was almost generated in his mind, Baby stopped hesitating anymore, and with a flash of his body, he attacked Lin Yan. Since he wants to parasitize in the body of Saiyan in front of him, he must have scars on his body. And when he is going all out and his energy is at its peak, only after he has possessed Abed can he possess his strongest ability. Then come on. Lin Yan clenched his fists tightly, and then a light green energy halo appeared around his body. Although he didn't think that rubbish like Baby could cause harm to him, just in case, he still covered his body with an energy barrier. He knew that if Baby wanted to parasitize, he had to create some scars on the host's body. This is a little more secure. After all, I have unlimited energy, and I will not worry about the lack of energy at all. Moreover, once the Baby possesses himself, it will be a very bad thing. So, be careful. After covering a layer of energy barrier around the body, Lin Yan's body also flashed out. Bang bang bang. In an instant, the bodies of the two collided dozens of times. With each attack, the bodies of the two would be separated quickly, and then violently collide again. At this time, on the planet Supreme Kai, Son Goku and Jabatat looked shocked as they watched the fierce battle between the two. They also thought that Lin Yan's strength should be very strong, but they didn't expect to be able to fight on par with Baby. Hey Bulma, number 18, who is that Saiyan named Lin Yan? How can he be so powerful? Besides, you two seem to be much younger. Allah. After looking away from the crystal ball, Son Goku looked at Bulma and number 18, and asked with great interest. He is Lin Yan, the strongest person in our time and space. Bulma looked at the little Son Goku, and answered. I added silently in my heart, it is our husband. What, your time and space? This time, not to mention Son Goku, even God Jebet and the old Supreme Kai had shocked expressions on their faces. Jabatat didn't quite understand what Bulma and number 18 said, but the old Supreme Kai was thoughtful. Because their Supreme Kai planet has always had time and space rings, which can travel to other time and space. I didn't expect that these few humans in front of me actually have this ability. However, what he didn't know was that Lin Yan and the others came here with a time machine. Well, we don't belong to this time and space. To be precise, we come from the time and space 19 years ago. Bulma explained again. Other time and space. I still don't understand it. But forget it, seeing how powerful he is, I really want to compete with him. Son Goku was puzzled at first, and then he said something in relief, with a frenzied gleam in his eyes. TCH, his strength is not limited to that, you are no match for him now, idiot. Number 18 gave Son Goku a cold look, and said contemptuously. But what she said is also true, Lin Yan still has a lot of weird moves, if used, that guy called Baby is not enough to fight at all. Well, in that case, I want to fight him even more. Hearing No 18's words, the excitement on Son Goku's face became more and more intense. The stronger the opponent is, the more excited he will be. Although your appearance has indeed played a certain role in helping this time and space, such casual travel through time and space is strictly prohibited. The old Supreme Kai frowned, and spoke in a serious tone. Because their time travel may completely change the discovery order of this time and space, causing the existence to disappear, and what should not exist to stay. It's just that my own strength is indeed a bit too weak in front of these Saiyans, and there is no way to stop them at all. On Earth, Lin Yan and Baby have already fought hundreds of rounds at this time, but the two still do not have a clear advantage. It seems that it is very difficult to defeat this guy in a short time. If so, then use you to practice your hands and try my Super Saiyan full power form. After the two collided for the first time, the corners of Lin Yan's mouth slightly raised, and he spoke lightly. Haven't used Super Saiyan's full power form since copying Broly's talents. That is the existence that absolutely crushes Super Saiyan Blue and Golden Frieza. Even a Super Blue Gogeta can hold its own for a while. I don't know how my Super Saiyan's full power form will be compared to the Super 4 Gogeta's result. After making up his mind, Lin Yan stopped hesitating. Anyway, sooner or later he would have to use the full power of Super Saiyan. If he wanted it, it would be difficult to break through to a higher level. This time the opponent is Baby. His strength is not very strong, but he is a very good training partner. Baby, from now on, I will go all out and feel the taste of despair. After the corner of his mouth curled up into a long arc, Lin Yan spoke coldly to the reader, baby. The full power of my Super Saiyan is not comparable to that of Super Saiyan. In front of me, a baby like this will be as weak as an ant, even worse than an ant. HMPH, wild monkey, don't pretend to be there anymore. If you really have the strength, would you still show it now? Baby said disdainfully. Majia Saiyan was able to start an evenly matched battle with the current self, which surprised him very much. If it is said that he has even more terrifying strength, he absolutely does not believe it. Because in this world, it is impossible for such a strong person to exist. Aren't you putting on a show? Soon, you'll see. The corners of his mouth raised, and he spoke lightly. Planet Supreme Kai. Is what the guy said true? Isn't it all he has right now? Looking at the crystal ball in front of him, Son Goku asked in disbelief. In fact, his thoughts are the same as baby's. Lin Yan has such a strong strength, which has already surprised him very much. If he can really become stronger, then how terrifying his strength will be. No, I don't know, but judging by his strategizing, it doesn't seem like he's trying to scare baby. God Jebet also said in a somewhat dull manner. From memory, he really doesn't believe that there are more than baby and Super Saiyan in this world. But looking at Lin Yan's appearance, he shouldn't be someone who can talk big and lie to baby. Since Lin Yan said that he still has stronger strength, then there must be. Bulma said firmly. For Lin Yan, she chose to believe without hesitation. That guy really doesn't seem to be joking, and I can see that there should be a huge energy in his body, maybe that huge energy, even he can't control it. The old Supreme Kai spoke with a serious look in his eyes. His feeling is not groundless. Hearing the old Supreme Kai's words, Son Goku and Jebet turned their attention to the past. Although the old Supreme Kai has no strength, he has lived for so many years, and his experience and vision are beyond the reach of ordinary people. Since even he said that, Lin Yan must still have the strength to show it. Just show me your so-called strength that can make me despair. Saiyan. The corners of baby's mouth were raised high. Obviously he didn't believe what Lin Yan said at all. I think Lin Yan's move is just to scare himself. If he really had such a powerful strength, he must have shown it long ago. Off. Lin Yan smiled coldly, his arms shook violently, his elbows were stuck to his waist, and he opened his posture. At this moment, a vast aura erupted from Lin Yan's body instantly. Ha! A burst of deep roars came out of Lin Yan's throat. Wisps of grass green's energy arrogance was shaken away by the terrifying aura, and swept in all directions. The next moment, the whole ground trembled violently, shocking cracks started to spread around Lin Yan's feet, and the speed reflected. And the bright green arrogance around Lin Yan became even more turbulent, directly rising up like a hill. Blah blah blah. Immediately afterwards, blue lightning bolts that were as thick as the mouth of a bull fell directly from the sky, pierced through the ground, and lingered around Lin Yan's body continuously. What? Impossible. Baby stepped back subconsciously, looking at Lin Yan in front of him with a look of horror, his pupils constricted suddenly. That aura was so strong that it made him tremble uncontrollably. My God! What kind of aura is this? It's so powerful that it's boundless. On the Supreme Kai planet, Jebet God and the old Supreme Kai looked terrified. This aura, they have lived for hundreds of millions of years, have never felt such a powerful aura. This has completely exceeded their expectations. Okay, so strong aura, it completely suppressed my desire to fight, and I have never felt a feeling of fear. Son Goku also frowned, feeling that powerful aura that made people tremble. Surpassed all the opponents I have encountered before. And that guy's aura, why is it so similar to Broly's aura? Suddenly, another figure flashed in Son Goku's mind. The same as the arrogance of Green, so powerful that it makes people feel hopeless. Is he also the legendary Super Saiyan? 20 years ago, Broly's aura and feeling were exactly the same as Lin Yan's now, so powerful that it made people tremble uncontrollably. Especially Vegeta, in front of the legendary Super Saiyan Broly, almost completely lost his fighting consciousness. Son Goku thought with some palpitations. On Earth, because of Lin Yan's endless terrifying aura, the entire Earth began to vibrate violently. On Lin Yan's forehead and both arms, there were strips of serenity like little snakes, wriggling non-stop. The breath of bright green burst out continuously in every inch of skin. And in Lin Yan's eyes, the pupils disappeared immediately, turning into a pale color. Ah ah ah! The next moment, when a beast-like roar came out of his mouth, the bright green flames around his body suddenly swept out in all directions like surging waves. The surrounding mountain peaks were shattered by that green's breath at that moment, turning into powder. And baby's body was directly blown away by that terrifying impact. Landed 100 feet away. And at this moment, Lin Yan Gold's hair directly turned into bright green, moving with the wind. The breath burst out from the body continuously. The next moment, a terrifying energy ball shot out of Lin Yan's mouth, pointing at baby. Sensing the terrifying aura in the energy ball, baby quickly dodged and dodged it. Rumble. The ground collapsed in an instant, and the moment the energy ball exploded, towering mushroom clouds were immediately aroused, spreading round and round, soaring into the sky. Okay, what a terrifying destructive power, what kind of monster is this? Baby looked at the transformed Lin Yan in front of him, with a very heavy complexion, and muttered to himself. The explosion just now, fortunately he dodged in time, otherwise, if he was hit by that energy wave, he might end up seriously injured. Doll. Lin Yan roared again, and the energy waves in his mouth spewed out one after another, and the ground instantly became a mess, full of scars. All of Lin Yan's attacks seemed to be attacking at will, and they are not completely aimed at baby's attack. What's the matter with him? It seems that he is not attacking baby at all, but destroying the earth. On the Supreme Kai planet, Jebet frowned, looked at Lin Yan who was attacking madly in the crystal ball, and said in a heavy tone. As for Bulma and number 18, they also had a dignified, 993, look on their faces, because they had never seen Lin Yan like this before. It's like I've completely lost my mind. It turns out that, it's really the same as Broly. This is a bit bad. Lin Yan has become a berserk state. Even if he defeats baby, the earth will definitely be completely destroyed by him. Son Goku also had a very anxious face at this time, frowning tightly and said in a low voice. 20 years ago, the scene of fighting Broly is like replaying in my mind. But now it seems that the Lin Yan in front of me is much stronger than the Broly of 20 years ago, and it is not comparable to the current self. If he really intends to destroy the earth, he can't stop it at all. To be precise, no one can stop him at all. At first, I thought that the appearance of that guy would solve the crisis of the baby in front of me, but now it seems that we have fallen into a bigger crisis. Even the old Supreme Kai, who has always been open-minded, has a serious face, which shows the seriousness of the matter. Lin Yan, is he really crazy? Then what should we do? How can we help him? On the 18th, Bulma looked at number 18 with a look of bewilderment. At this time, she was completely confused, because she never thought that such a situation would happen to Lin Yan. I don't know either. Number 18 also frowned, shook his head and said. Now they can't help at all. Because their strength is so different from Lin Yan's, no one can stop him at all. But on the earth at this time, in just 1 minute, the valley where Lin Yan is located has completely turned into huge craters, as if being smashed by countless meteorites. As for Lin Yan, he was still constantly spraying terrifying energy waves, because his energy was originally endless. HMPH, it seems that this wild monkey has completely lost consciousness while gaining unparalleled strength. Speaking of which, this is really in line with the characteristics of that group of wild monkeys. Baby looked at Lin Yan who kept sending out terrifying energy waves. The panic just now had completely disappeared, replaced by unparalleled joy. Because Lin Yan in front of him has entered an unconscious runaway state, which is a very good opportunity for him to control his chance. And now Lin Yan's power has almost reached its limit. If he controls him at this time, he will directly obtain this powerful power, and he can use it very perfectly. So now, he is waiting for an opportunity, a proper opportunity to enter Lin Yan's body. After running away, Lin Yan seemed to sense baby's existence, turned his head, and shot an energy wave directly at baby. HMPH, have you been discovered? But you, who are unconscious, no matter how strong you are, cannot be my opponent. Baby snorted coldly, and dodged Lin Yan's attack with a dodge. And because of this flash, his body appeared directly 10 feet away from Lin Yan, waiting for the opportunity to move. At this time, the energy waves in Lin Yan's mouth were like machine guns, bombarding Baby indiscriminately, but apparently did not cause any substantial damage to Baby. And Baby also took the opportunity to keep approaching Lin Yan, as if victory was within reach. It's now. When Baby's body was only 3 feet away from Lin Yan, a sly look flashed in his eyes, and his body jumped towards Lin Yan like a cunning rabbit. As long as I use all my strength to hit Lin Yan and hurt him, then he will be able to possess very smoothly. Thinking of this, Baby felt a little ecstatic, because the Saiyan in front of him was really too strong, so strong that he couldn't help being a little excited. Baby's speed is also quite fast. She appeared behind Lin Yan almost instantly, squeezed out a pink energy ball in her palm, and blasted directly towards Lin Yan's back. He never thought of relying on this to seriously injure Lin Yan. As long as he makes a scar on his body, then he's done. At this moment, Lin Yan's body is beckoning to Baby. The energy ball directly hit Lin Yan's back. But at that moment, Baby's face changed drastically, because the energy ball he blasted directly penetrated Lin Yan's back and blasted into the distance. This is a little different than what I imagined. How is it possible? Didn't that wild monkey go berserk and lose consciousness? Baby felt that the rhythm was completely disrupted in an instant, so he opened his mouth in panic. And at the same moment, Lin Yan's body suddenly appeared behind Baby like a ghost, the corner of his mouth raised a sinister arc, and his fist directly hit Baby's back. The next moment, Baby's body looked at each other like a falling meteorite, and hit the ground heavily, creating a bottomless pit on the ground. After being attacked by Lin Yan, Baby's aura instantly weakened a lot. Obviously injured. What? Lin Yan, he didn't lose consciousness. Watching what happened in the crystal ball, Bulma excitedly shouted. At that moment just now, he thought that Lin Yan was going to be injured by that nasty guy. And no 18's frown that had been tightly furrowed slowly relaxed. I was really sweating for Lin Yan just now. Wow, what? He didn't seem to lose consciousness after turning into the legendary Super Saiyan. Son Goku also shouted excitedly. Unexpectedly, Lin Yan and Broly are not the same. And Jabiter and the old Supreme Kai also breathed a sigh of relief. As long as Lin Yan doesn't go berserk, that's great. To be honest, I didn't even think that after becoming Super Saiyan at full power, there would be no loss of control. At this time, Lin Yan's pupils slowly returned to normal, turning golden yellow, and the corners of his mouth raised a slanting arc, muttering to himself. Because when he watched the theatrical version of Dragon Ball Super Broly, after seeing Broly turn into Super Saiyan full power, he almost completely lost his mind and became a tool that could only fight. But unexpectedly, after he became Super Saiyan at full power, he could clearly feel a frightening surge of rage in his body. But this hostility is still easy to restrain, and it can't make him completely lose himself. It seems that losing control after becoming a Super Saiyan at full power is a problem with Broly's heart, plus Frieza's way of killing Paragus will cause Broly to completely lose control. This power is so powerful that it makes people feel trembling. What an unparalleled power! Lin Yan clenched his fists, feeling the vast power in his body like Wang Yang, which was inexhaustible and inexhaustible, continuously flowing out from every inch of skin and every place in the body. Then, Lin Yan looked at the deep hole on the ground, and with a flash of his body, he shot down like an arrow from the string. It took almost an instant to see Baby's body flying out of the deep pit at lightning speed. And Lin Yan's body was already waiting for him in midair. Looking at the baby who flew upside down, he clasped his hands together, and then smashed heavily on the baby's back. Boom! Baby's body hit the ground again. A deep pit appeared on the ground again. Lin Yan's body swooped down like an eagle hitting the sky, and his foot directly landed on Baby's chest. I saw a mouthful of blood spurting out from Baby's mouth, and the breath instantly reached its peak. No! Impossible! Blood flowed from Baby's mouth continuously, and his face was full of horror and disbelief. He had obviously lost his mind just now. How could he suddenly become normal, and his strength had actually risen to such a terrifying level? As a Saiyan prince, Vegeta is possessed in his body, so he should be the strongest in this universe. Baby, you're done. Lin Yan grinned at the corner of his mouth, revealing a sinister arc, then pointed his palm directly at Baby, and an energy ball appeared in his palm. Cut, do you think you can kill me like this? You are so naive, you can only kill Vegeta, and I can also parasitize on other people. Baby gritted his teeth and spoke. Is that so? You can try it. Hearing Baby's words, the corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched coldly again, and he spoke coldly. Anyway, even if Vegeta is dead, he can be resurrected with Dragon Ball. Wait, now, Earth's 7th Dragon Ball should have cracked. If you use it again, I am afraid that the evil dragon will come out. In this case, there is no way for Vegeta to be resurrected in this time and space. After all, after Piccolo died because of the Earth explosion in Dragon Ball, he didn't come back to life until the end. At this moment, Son Goku suddenly appeared in front of Lin Yan. Apparently following Lin Yan's breath instant transmission. Lin Yan, can you let it go? After appearing, Son Goku suddenly looked at Lin Yan and said. Let him go. Are you sure? Lin Yan looked at Son Goku's appearance and asked. He also seems to be able to guess that this guy, Son Goku, must be heartbroken about being defeated by Baby. Well, the old Supreme Kai said that he can help me develop my potential, and my strength can break through to a higher level. I want to defeat Baby with my own hands, and he is now parasitic in Vegeta's body. After killing him like this, Vegeta will be killed too. Son Goku said to Lin Yan with a serious face. Being defeated by Baby really made him very unwilling. He must surpass the limit of Super Saiyan 3, become a higher form, and defeat Baby with his own hands. Of course, Lin Yan's strength also made him very excited. In that case, it's up to you. After Lin Yan stared at Son Goku for a few seconds, he opened his mouth lightly, and the ability to hold the ball in his palm gradually disappeared. Now that I can freely control the full power of Super Saiyan, even if Baby turns into a golden gorilla, he is definitely not my opponent, so there is no need to worry about it. And also as Saiyan, he can understand Son Goku's mentality of wanting to beat Baby at this time. Just agree, let Baby live a few more days first. After he turns into a golden gorilla, he can eliminate Baby without killing Vegeta. Ah, thank you. Son Goku didn't expect Lin Yan to agree so simply. A smile appeared on his face, and he thanked Lin Yan. On the other hand, Baby gritted his teeth tightly. He didn't expect that he had to rely on Son Goku's pleading to survive in this guy's hands. It was really a huge humiliation. But after he recovers from his injuries, he must come back and kill the two hateful Saiyans in front of him. After thinking about it, he exhausted all his energy and disappeared into the bodies of Son Goku and Lin Yan in a flash. After Baby fled in a panic, Lin Yan and Son Goku returned to the Supreme Kai planet. Idiot, what an idiot, such a good opportunity to kill Baby has been wasted by you. After arriving on the Supreme Kai planet, the big Supreme Kai yelled at Son Goku directly. Although he can help Son Goku develop his potential, he can kill Baby just now. And Lin Yan was already about to kill Baby, but he asked Son Goku to stop him. What a veritable idiot. Baby, this guy is like a cancer, if you keep him for a day, you don't know what will happen. Well, don't be angry, old Supreme Kai, didn't you say you could help me develop my potential? Hehe, I can definitely defeat that guy Baby. Son Goku spoke confidently to the old Supreme Kai. Oh, you guys are really optimistic. Old Supreme Kai and Jebet Shendu sighed speechlessly. Even though could solve the problem just now, they still want to let Baby go, but they are used to it. This is the character of that guy Goku. Are you okay? At this time, Bulma and number 18 also came up, looked at Lin Yan and asked worriedly. When Lin Yan suddenly became violent just now, they were really startled. Let you worry, I didn't. At this time, Lin Yan had returned to normal, gently stroking the faces of Bulma and number 18, and said in a gentle tone. Presumably when I became Super Saiyan at full power just now, the two of them were also very worried. Yeah, you suddenly became like that just now, it really made us sweat, but why did you let that guy go, he looks so bad. Bulma also asked with some doubts. After all, everyone can see that with Lin Yan's strength, he can easily deal with that villain. After all, this is not our time and space. If I kill him, Son Goku's strength may be greatly affected. Enemies that appear in the future will make them unable to deal with it. Lin Yan explained. In fact, he didn't kill Baby just now, partly because of Son Goku, and partly because he wanted Son Goku to become Super Saiyan 4. Let's see how powerful Super Saiyan 4 is. Furthermore, it is to see if it is possible to directly copy the talent of Super Saiyan 4. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.